Or should we say the grand finale of the championship? That's right, it's all come to an end now, and there's some interesting things to talk about before we start our first race of the weekend. This, of course, is the 2021 EMSO E-Motorsports UAE National Championship. Like we said, this is the third and final round where we'll be crowning a champion. And we'll also be giving away some amazing prizes thanks to our epic sponsors, the Dubai Autodrome and Dragon Racing. We'll get to those prizes at a later stage. Now, the biggest talking point of the weekend so far, of course, is who will be crowned champion. Now, the driver who has finished both of our finals, our first and second final, in the lead, or in first position, excuse me, walked away with a total of 50 points, and they have 20 points over their closest rival. However, our championship leader is actually not racing here this weekend, which is very, very interesting. So it shakes up the field. Now, coming into this third round, we had 3 drivers in contention for the championship. Now we just have 2, because we have a total of 25 points on offer, and we're currently sitting in the lobby for our first round, which one of our championship contenders should be in, which is Harry Hannum, and it looks like he's not here. Well, of course, we still have 8 minutes to go before the first race starts, so there's still plenty of time to go for Harry to join the session. But if he doesn't make it now, this will go the way of, well, we don't know, do we? Because we'll still have to do our final later on, because of course how it works in the championship is we only dish out points towards the end, or better yet, not towards the end, at the final race of the day, which is scheduled to take place today at 7 PM local time here in the United Arab Emirates. So, as it works with the previous round, so those of you who are maybe new to the stream here, or you're rewatching this at a later date, and you haven't watched rounds 1 and 2, how this works is we have a few qualifying rounds, or shall we say pre-heat races, which we have this time around. We have 3 of them, where the drivers will go into a 7-minute session, 7 minutes qualifying, and then a 6-lap race here around Mount Panorama. They will then set our top 6 from each of those 3 heat races. Will go into a semi-final that will consist of more races, more laps, excuse me, and it will be 7 minutes of qualifying again, and then it doesn't say before the final race, it doesn't say how many laps they'll do, but most likely they'll do 8 laps, because that's what we did last time out as well. And then our top 6 from each of those categories, so sorry, not categories, but the semi-finals, so semi-final 1 and semi-final 2 will go into a final race where we will award the points. So, excuse me, we'll start off with 30 drivers, and we'll end with just 12 later on in the evening. So unfortunately we'll lose 18 drivers along the way, because of course our top 8 from our heat races go into a semi-final, either semi-final 1 or semi-final 2, and then our top 6 from those 2 semi-finals will go into one final race where the points will be dished out, and that's where we'll be crowning a champion. But as we said, our 3 championship leaders are separated by 25 points. I think there's a slight gap of about 2 points between our top 3 for any of the 3 to be crowned champion at the end of the day. And with 25 points on offer for a win, it is highly likely that we may not have the championship leader, ATCUAE, who unfortunately is not here this weekend, not be crowned champion. However, there is a very high chance that he could be crowned champion, because as we said before, Harry Hannum is in second position at the moment with 30 points to his name, so he's 20 points behind, but with 25 points on offer, he can be crowned champion. Gilles, that is heartbreaking to learn that ATCUAE will not be racing this weekend as they are moving away. We wish you all the best, and we wish you were here with us. But of course, moving house is quite an arduous task, and of course I completely understand, and we understand here that you couldn't be here. But all the best, Gilles. It would have been great to see ATCUAE racing here and vying for that championship. It would have been absolutely phenomenal. I've just seen that Harry Hannum has joined the session, which is great to see, and he is one of our 3 championship contenders. So we have ATCUAE, Harry Hannum, and Hazim Zaki are basically 3 title contenders here at the moment 50 points to ATCUAE. Harry has 30 and Hazem has 28. Unfortunately, last year's champion Romaldo Labori, who sits in 4th in the championship standings, has 23, and if he takes the win, he'll have 25 points added to his total, which bring him up to a total of 48 points, which unfortunately means he will not be able to surpass ATCUAE. So unfortunately, Romaldo Labori is out of the championship hunt, so no title defense from him, unfortunately, this season. He won't go back-to-back. So either ATCUAE, Harry Hannum, or Hazem Zaki. Now, Hazem is quite a long shot because he has 28 points to his name, but as we said, with 25 points on offer, it is highly possible that he could be crowned champion at the end of the race. And it looks like, or end of the weekend, and it looks like we're going to get the qualifier underway right away, which is great news because we are starting, I think we're actually starting a little bit early, so that's great news. I think, according to my watch, we're starting 3 minutes early, but that's because we have all the drivers in the session. Now, the other talking point we have as well is that unfortunately we've already had 2 drivers pull out of the race, or actually technically only one. The other one is actually trying to fix his setup at the moment. Unfortunately, we only have 9 drivers in this session because Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 unfortunately won't be able to make the session, so we're only going to have 9 drivers in this one. The good news is that we do have some returning drivers, including Patrick Di Battista, who we're looking at right now. We missed him last weekend. Very quick and rapid driver indeed here in Gran Turismo, and it's great to see Patrick Di Battista back in the championship. Unfortunately, with no points being scored, he will not make it into the championship title picture. Now, it looks to be that James Swindells did not make it into the qualifying. Now, we have started it, so this will be down to the stewards' decision to see what they will say, which is unfortunate actually to get things started already, and one of our drivers has not made it in. Now, James Swindells is sitting 5th overall in the championship with 22 points. Again, if he had better scoring from before, although we can't discount that he is a very formidable racer because he did a very good job, and it looks like we're going to let James into the session. I guess that's the good thing about starting slightly earlier, so that we can allow, if there is any disconnection issues like that, we can get the drivers in, because of course we do have to stick to a certain time. This is of course bad news for me because I have to move through the lobbies and we have to start it all again and try get everyone into the lobby once again. So while we're waiting for the lobby to be restarted, let's have a quick shout out to our sponsors for this year, and of course that is the Dubai Autodrome and Dragon Racing, who will be supplying our top 3 with some incredible prizes. All 3 of our drivers will walk away with a BMW experience courtesy of the Dubai Autodrome, but our champion, our championship leader at the end of the evening, or just say the champion, although who scores the most points, will get an even more cooler prize thanks to Dragon Racing, as they'll be supplying us, or not us, I wish us, but no, they'll be supplying our champion with a very special track experience behind the wheel of a Mini Cooper JCW touring car, of all things, which is an awesome prize. So huge shout out to Dubai Autodrome and Dragon Racing as well. Now, there also is, now I said before this is the final round, it is, but there's also now a bonus round as well. This was announced 2 weeks ago, if I remember correctly, in our last round. That was round 2. That is open to Emirati drivers, and of course the top 2 from that event will go on into the MENA qualifiers, which will be great news. It's scheduled to take place later this year, so we'll have a bonus round full of Emirati drivers in a month's time, the beginning of August. We will have that event as the lobby is reopened, and it is just gone 4 o'clock. So it looks like we are set to get back on track. Let's hop into the spectating mode. Once a driver or 2 has entered, we have to wait for them. Unfortunately, we just can't spectate ourselves, even though I did find out you can actually spectate yourself if you want to, as I was trying to practice earlier on. Did a terrible job here at Mount Panorama, but I was able to spectate myself, oddly enough. Granted, you probably don't want to see me race around here. Let's leave it to the guys and girls who'll be racing here in the last round of the EMSO E-Motorsports UAE National Championship for 2021. So just to quickly mention the Emirati round that we'll have at the beginning of next month is actually the 12 best Emirati drivers from this championship. So 12 of the best Emirati drivers that have raced with us over the course of 3 race weekends will go on to compete in an extra round on the 6th of August, and they will compete for 2 tickets for the MENA Digital Cup. That will take place as well on Gran Turismo. So it's an additional awesome prize for our Emirati drivers here in the EMSO E-Motorsports UAE National Championship. As we are watching, let's watch the driver instead of looking at the breathtaking views here that Mount Panorama has to offer. It's great to be racing here in the mountains of Mount Panorama, and a very interesting track indeed. It's very, very narrow. It's not very easy to pass. So you could probably fit 3 cars, although 2 is probably the ideal choice here. There's not a lot of run-up areas in most sectors, only really when it comes to the really fast corners, which Vafi Khan is coming up to now, do we have a lot of run-off area. But up on the top of the mountain, it's very, very tight, and if you get anything wrong, you are straight into the barrier, and it can be very, very costly, because of course this is a championship and we are running with damage, tyre wear, fuel consumption as well, to ensure that you have a level playing field and it's as realistic as possible. We also had a few people ask, how come we're running this on the PlayStation rather than on a PC? Well, for starters, Gran Turismo is actually certified by the FIA, and there are many digital championships that run around the world. So we're also doing our part here at the United Arab Emirates to join in on the action. The other reason, obviously, is that a PlayStation is probably much easier if you don't have one to borrow somebody rather than borrowing an entire PC rig. Okay, the sim rig might be a little bit difficult to get your hands on, but it's probably simpler than getting a PC from a friend or a colleague or someone you may know. It's also cheaper than a PC. Yes, the graphics are more superior and the physics and the realistic side of things may be better, but it's much easier to do it on a PlayStation. As we said as well, it is FIA certified. So it looks like we've got the qualifying underway. As we said, it's a 7-minute qualifying session here. Obviously, who sets the fastest lap of in the session in 7 minutes will go onto the pole, and they will have the preferred position at the start of the race. Now, it was a very hot topic in the previous round, because we raced at Spa-Francorchamps. You can watch that live. You can re-watch the race on our channel here, on the EMSO's channel on YouTube. And we did rolling starts there, where it caused a lot of commotion, especially for the drivers from 4th onwards, because of course when 1st, 2nd and 3rd, well actually even 3rd had an issue as well, when 1st and 2nd were going on the straightaway, the front straight that is, and across the line, 3rd through 4th and then all the way down would either start in the chicane or have to enter the chicane before they could start the race, and that caused a lot of drama in the chats that we had. And then in the final we went on to have a standing start, which was praised, but of course we did have drama going into turn 1. This one I think will also be a standing start if I remember correctly. If I'm not running it correctly, no doubt one of the officials will remind me if it is a rolling start or if it will be a standing start. And we're about to get our first outlap completed, so we can see what times people are putting in around, well, let's say about 2:15, I want to say, maybe a little bit less than that, maybe 2:20. No, it looks like we could do 2:15s here at Mount Panorama. And why don't we hop on board with one of our championship contenders, that of course is Harry Hannum here in the Haza Racing number 19. It's his PSN ID, as he's on one of the fastest parts of the track here, a long straight that goes up towards the top of the mountain, but then there's a dip here with it crests over the hill. Of course, you don't want to go over there too fast because you could lose the car, and then you're heavy into the braking zone there, into the right-hander, then we race our way up the hill for the first time. Better yet, we'll see it the second time, because we've had our outlap already. This is our first full time lap, essentially, here to set the field for the first time. It's, as we said, this is going to be very difficult, especially at the top of the mountain. As you can see, there's literally nowhere to go. If you put a foot wrong anywhere, you're going to be straight into one of the walls, and that could cost you a lot of time. It could also cost your competitors a lot of time as well, because if you're in close battle like these two are here, that of course is Harry Hannam and Danny Shields, that are not battling for position, but battling for the best time at the moment. As Harry Hannam a little bit loose there through as he works his way down towards down the mountain at the moment. To the left-hander we go. It's very quick up the top mountain as well. This is going to be a very interesting race. And looks like we'll get at least 2 qualifying laps here. If you're quick enough, you may be able to get 3, but looking at how much time we have left, I think 2 would be optimal. Actually, no, I think we may actually get 3 laps here for our drivers. And as Harry Hannam now works his way into one of the fastest parts of the track here, full throttle through this right-hander, but then you've got to go on the brakes immediately, because if you miss this braking zone, you're off into the grass and into the sand trap, and that's it. Your race is done. As we see Danny Shields try there, way too late on the brakes there, going behind Harry Hannam, and that's going to cause him some time lost on his qualifying lap here. So our first drivers are coming across the line now. We've got Zoloviti, we've got James Swindell. Zoloviti does a 2:02, James Swindell does a 2:01, Harry Hannam does a 2:02, and Danny Shields does a 2:02 as well. So the quickest man out there is James Swindell with a 2:01. Now, I thought it's a 2:15. Boy, was I wrong. He was 14 seconds faster than I predicted, which is absolutely a great way to start this weekend here for James Swindells. Out in front provisionally for the time being. Behind him is Danny Shields. Now, interesting enough, we saw him off into the grass going through what would be the penultimate corner of the track, which kind of looked like a slight time advantage there gained from Danny Shields. So I wonder if the stewards will look at this, because Harry Hannam currently sitting in 4th place. Now, Harry Hannam was on pole in both of his heat race. I know that from last time out of round 2, is Danny Shields hits the wall, and Harry Hannam currently sitting in 4th place at the moment. He said 20 points behind ATCUAE, but unfortunately, due to Aiko and his family moving house, actually moving out of the United Arab Emirates, ATCUAE not able to participate in this weekend's race, which is heartbreaking for the Thai driver. As he said, Harry Hannam leads. Technically he's the championship lead, I guess we could say, although he is 20 points behind at the moment, but he is. Can we count it? No, I don't think we can. We can't predict a winner just yet. We're going to have to wait until these races are over. And it looks like we have our top 2 drivers who are participating, or at least that are vying for the championship, that at least could essentially get the championship, at least those 25 points. Where is Hazem? Hazem is in quarterfinal 2, which is scheduled to take place at 4:30. Is Harry Hannam now through the final corner and across line? Does he improve to go quickest of all? Yes, he doesn't. He does a 2:01.905, with James Swindell still being the fastest by just under a 1/10 of a second. That puts Danny Shields down into 3rd position. Jack Carlos goes 4th fastest. Solovita is 5th fastest. Patrick Di Battista, returning to the championship, goes 6th fastest. Vafi Khan is 7th fastest. And Ovicho 8 is in 8th position. And it looks like Ovicho's fan club is in the chat right now, rooting on their driver. Let's go down. Obviously, Mohammed Al-Shamsi as well is here too, down in 9th position at the moment. So we do have enough time for at least one more lap here. Now, can Harry Hannam put his BMW on pole? 2nd place, of course, is respectable to start alongside James Swindell's, and he will have, well, he have to go the long way round around James Swindell's, because of course James will start on the inside here of Mount Panorama with that pole position, and Harry Hannam will start on the right hand side of him. So he's going to have to try and outbrake James Swindell's, but I don't think that's going to be an easy task here at Mount Panorama. As Harry Hannam works his way downhill, he's just tucked in behind James Swindell's, about a corner between the two of them. Harry Hannum now through the final corner. Can he improve? Does he improve? He does improve with a 2:01.792 on the final lap. Goes less than a tenth of a second quicker than James Swindells, but has that all-important pole position. That was a phenomenal lap from Harry Hannum, putting the car on pole position at the very end. So it'll be Harry Hannum on pole position, James Swindells in second, Danny Shields is third, with Jack Carlos alongside for company. Zolo Vita will line up in fifth position on the third row of the grid, with Patrick Di Battista alongside for company, and then Vafi Khan and Avich 09. Is that the 9 at the end there? I think it is. Or is it an 8? It's a 9, isn't it? Yes, it is a 9. We'll start on the fourth row of the grid with Mohammed Al-Shamsi starting on the back row of the grid. It looks like we have one driver that's still eligible for who's on a lap. Now, who is it that's on a flying lap at the moment? They all look to be going slow. They do. I wonder why the session is ticking down like this. The qualifier is now officially over. Indeed it is. So there is confirmation that Harry Hannum is on pole position, and alongside him will be James Swindells here to kick things off. Of course, as we said before, Harry Hannum is one of 3 drivers in contention for the championship here. 20 points is quite a tough ask. He has to win if he wants to be on the top of the championship table at the end of today, as second place only gets 18 points, so he must win no matter what. And then for Hazem Zaki, who sits in third position in the championship at the moment, he's 28 points back. He definitely needs to win this race, or needs to win the final before, if he can be crowned champion. But we're about to get started now with our first race here. Harry Hannum on pole, James Swindells in second, and it looks like it will be a rolling start here as we roll under the lights here for the first time, and with green flag racing here for the third time this season at Mount Panorama. Here we go into the left-hander as James Swindells is in hot pursuit of Harry Hannum. A great start all around. Looks like everyone gets through the first corner cleanly. Let's go midfield just to make sure everyone has got through cleanly. A nice single file line down, let's say up towards the tip of Mount Panorama. Over the crest we go, and it looks like James Swindells is slowly bringing that gap down between himself and Harry Hannum. He's trying to go around the outside. That's not where you want to be. All very late on the brakes there for James Swindells. And he's going to have to concede. Yes, he does. He's going to have to fall back, but now he has to defend from... Who's that behind him? That's Danny Shields, isn't it? That's behind James Swindells as they race their way up the mountain here for the first time. That was a very bold move there from James Swindells, but it did not pay off. As we said before in the qualifying, this track is very, very tight. Not a lot of opportunity to squeeze on the inside or the outside, unless your name is Jordan Cox, who did that, I think it was last year, in 2020, just before the racing stopped in Australia, with that epic move somewhere at the top of the mountain, which landed him that drive in the Aussie Touring Car Championship, or the TCR Australia Championship. As it looks like, oh, we've lost Avich 09. He must have disconnected before the start of the race. It said that Avich has left the room and joined the race. So unfortunately, Avich 09 there disconnecting from the session. I don't know what the stewards will do. I think because we started the race already, I don't think we'll be restarting this as we're down the hill for the first time here. And again, now onto the fastest part of the race. Here comes James Swindells, picking up the toe, going to the right-hand side here. He's got the inside line going down towards the penultimate corners, but thinks better of it. The fastest part of the track here. No, don't step on the gas here, boys. You've got to keep going, but heavy on the brakes here, down towards this left-hander. As James Swindells gives a slight nudge to Harry Hannum to tell him, look, I'm here and I'm faster than you, let me through. But Harry Hannum's not going to let him through that easily. As we're down towards now the penultimate corner, into the left-hander we go. And these two, here comes James Swindells again on the inside, but Harry Hannum shuts the door through the left-hander. James Swindells is going to have to try again, and he's going to try and pick up that toe, because now he's lost a lot of ground there. He's lost about 4 car lengths between him, and here comes Danny Shields. He wants a bit of this action as well as Harry Hannum now through the left-hander to start lap number 2. And he'll race his way up towards the mountain yet again. But let's go on board. Well, let's go back to the battle here in second position with James Swindells and Danny Shields. The two that are battling now for third place, and Jack Carlos in hot pursuit as well. Not too far back is Jack Carlos. There's a bit of gap between himself and Patrick Di Battista, who's gained a position. Actually, Zolo Vita's gone backwards. He's lost 4 places, going down to 8th position, with Patrick Di Battista, Vafi Khan and Mohamed Al Shamsi all moving up as a position into 5th, 6th and 7th respectively, as we're back up the hill here for the second time. James Swindell's not close enough to make a move, but now he's putting a gap between himself and Danny Shields. Let's see if we can ride on board with Danny Shields. There is how close he is to the back of James Swindell's, as we're now at the top of the mountain here into the left-hander. Got to keep it nice and tight here in the BMW M6. If we now wind our way down here, this is probably one of the quickest complexes of corners on the track right there, and one mistake will put you straight into the wall. Just look how twisty this is as we go down the hill here at Mount Panorama into the right hand. And again, now he's losing a bit of ground here, but he's gaining it in the braking zones. But it looks like Danny Shields not making up as much ground as he'd like to. Let's go back up to 2nd position, and let's see what James Swindell's can do now as he races his way down the hill, as he puts a gap between himself and Danny Shields. Picking up the toe here, he's coming fast, and Harry Hannam can see that. Onto the inside goes James Swindell's. Can he make the move stick? Oh, who's going to break latest? It looks like Harry Hannam thinks better of it, breaks the latest, and James Swindell's goes into the lead for the time being through the penultimate corner. Oh, and Danny Shields has gone off in the background there. So that put Jack Carlos into 4th position, does it? As Harry Hannam's going to try around the outside, going into the final corner. Here comes James Swindell. He leads lap number 2 as we go on to the 3rd lap of the race. It looks like Shields just got back in front of Jack Carlos. I think Danny Shields there just outbroke himself. This is a great battle here for the lead of the race between Swindell's and Hannam as we race our way back up the mountain. But let's go a little bit further back because we have more battles brewing. Look at the battle for 3rd position, but yeah, it looks like Jack Carlos has dropped back. Let's go to 5th position with Patrick Di Battista. He's losing ground to Jack Carlos, but he's also gaining ground between himself and the man in front of him is Vafi Khan. Thanks, Dominic, for reminding me that it is a rolling start. I think it will be okay for this one because, of course, they'll start in the left-hander. So rolling start for all of our races here this weekend. That's all 5 of them. It looks like Patrick Di Battista, is he gaining ground on Jack Carlos? Because it looks like Carlos is losing some ground to the man that's in front of him. Vafi Khan is in 6th position in his chrome BMW here as he's racing his way downhill for the 3rd time. And it looks like Zolo Vita and Mohamed Al Shamsi have really dropped back here. So I wonder if both of these drivers here are having issues racing here at Mount Panorama. Maybe the wall's a bit too much for them. It is, as we said, very tight at the top here. Zolo Vita training in 7th position, but more importantly, he is in a position to go into one of our semi-finals, which is, of course, where you want to be, because our top 8 will go into one of our 2 semi-finals. So 4 will go into one, and 4 will go into another. And Mohamed Al Shamsi will also be in one of our finals, semi-finals that is, which is great news. Let's go back up with the race leader because it's James Swindell who still leads, but Harry Hannam is going to try and get the cut back here. Can he do this side by side through the right-hander? And Harry Hannam says, I'll take that away, thank you very much, James. And into the lead goes Harry Hannam for the 2nd time here. So is that the 3rd lead change we have? No, it wouldn't be, because Harry Hannam led at the beginning. Then we had James Swindell take the lead for our 1st lead change. We now had our 2nd lead change with Hannam now out in front of Swindell's by about 2 car lengths as they work their way through the left-hander. In 3rd still is Danny Shields. He still manages to stay in front of of Jack Carlos, excuse me, the purple and yellow BMW. If I'm not mistaken, he's also got a new, not a new logo, but a new sort of message on the side of his car there. I think it was on the left hand during practice and qualifying, caught a quick glimpse of it. And here he comes on Danny Shields. He's got, well, he's all over the back of him at the moment. Oh, and he's into the wall as well. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. And he's into the wall there as well, going into the corner on the inside. And that's certainly dropped him back. And that is unfortunate, but that's unfortunately the way the mountain works. You can try your best, but the mountain will bite you. As we race our way on top of the mountain for the 4th time here. Let's go back up with the race leaders and see what is going on up here, with Harry Hannam still leading ahead of James Swindell's by, what was that, 1/6 of a second, now up to 7/10 of a second between the two of them. as they race downhill here for the 4th time. Next time round with the penultimate lap here, because of course we'll have 6 laps of racing in our quarterfinals. We'll have 8 laps of racing in our semi-finals, and then a grueling 10 laps in our finals. As we're now onto the fastest part of the racetrack here. Full throttle through the right-hander. What if we can get some telemetry data? No, we can't. We can just get their previous lap time. As Harry Hannum out in front. We're doing a few wheels off the grass there, getting the car a little bit loose, which is allowing Swindells to come up on the outside. And he's going to try to do what Harry did to him on the previous lap. No, he won't. James Swindells slots into 2nd position here at Mount Panorama. As James Swindells gets the move stuck and goes into the lead of the race there. We just missed that. As James Swindells retakes the lead now for our 3rd lead change, putting Harry Hannum in 2nd position. The good news is that they are still both in for at least one of the semi-finals, because of course both in the top 8. Romano Labori in the chat asking about current lap times. Well, let's see what our race leader did last time round, and he did a 2:02.097 compared to Harry Hannum, who's currently battling up the hill, and side by side is very bold up the hill. Harry Hannum, I could presume as well, did a 2:02 that time round as well. Indeed he did. He did a 2:02.253. Quickest in qualifying was a 2:01.7 for Harry Hannum, who now sits in 2nd position behind James Swindells, our race leader, looking for his first outright win here in round 3. As we wind our way down again, as you see, it's very tight, and side-by-side action between the two of them could have gone wrong in all different ways, and it could have been very costly for the two of them as well. Did a good job to keep off one another, not put either of the 2 cars into the wall, because that would have put them certainly at a deficit and all the way at the back of the field. Although it would be good news for Danny Shields, Jack Carlos and the rest of the field, because of course they'd all move up. As Swindells now through over the crest and now down towards the left-hander into the final corner, because of course we're on the penultimate lap, and he'll start the final lap of the race here in his BMW M6. Of course, we're all drivers this season running in BMWs. 3 choices on offer, but the M6 has been the car that everybody has chosen so far. There's been a few Z4s floating around. I think we had one M3 last time out as well. They didn't seem to be on the same level as the M6s. No doubt we will see a few Z4s along the way here in our qualifying rounds, and of course our semi-finals as well, and hopefully in our final as well. I don't think we had a Z4 in any of our finals so far, in the 2 that we've had. As James Swindells leads the field. If only he was scoring points in this round, he could bring himself up into the championship hunt. Of course, James Swindells is currently sitting in 5th position in the championship with 22 points, but unfortunately not enough points on offer here in round 3, our final, for him to go into the championship lead, because of course with a win you get 25 points and 2nd gets 18, and that's only awarded in our final race, not our quarters or our semi-finals. So unfortunately those 22 points plus that 25 will only give him 47 points, which will not be enough to challenge ATCUAE for his championship lead here, as Harry Hannum tries to go around the outside of James Swindells, but can't make the move stick. As let's go back briefly now to Jack Carlos, who's currently in 4th position. Patrick Di Battista still there, within reach. I think with a few more laps may have found a way past, but let's go back up now with our race leaders as they work their way through the final corners. It's James Swindells now into the left-hander here in the penultimate corner. Now right-hand he goes, and he'll go into the final left-hander after this crest here, and he will grab his first win of the weekend here, and he's starting round 3 in style with James Swindells winning the first qualifying round here, the first quarterfinal here at Mount Panorama. As across the line, Danny Shields in third, Jack Carlos is fourth, Patch Di Battista in his return to the championship, fifth position. Vafi Khan will come across the line in sixth place. And incredibly enough, I didn't see a single penalty dished out to anybody in our any of our 8 drivers here, which is absolutely phenomenal. Great racing, guys, there, as always, in our first qualifying round. We will now move on to our next quarterfinal, excuse me, which will be quarterfinal number 2. So all 8 drivers look to go through into our semi-finals, 4 of which will go into semi-final 1, and another 4 will go into semi-final number 2. For us now, it's time to move over to another lobby while these fine gentlemen who just put on an epic show get a break for at least 20 to 30 minutes, because of course we won't see them back until the semi-final. Now we have to refresh. We'll click show only rooms with friends. I see there's some practice going on, which I wish there was some earlier on practice, because I would have liked to try it myself. I got to race it around earlier on today around Mount Panorama in a Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 10, and of course we're racing in the GT3 category, or Group 3 as it's known in Gran Turismo. Completely different experience, and I was all over the place, and I was running 2:38, so I was 37 seconds off of the pace compared to Harry Hannam's qualifying lap, who did a 2:17. I was in a not as powerful car, and probably not as tuned car that is up to par with the GT3 cars that we're using here. As we're now into our second of our quarterfinals, and we'll do the exact same thing as we did last time. We will have a 7-minute qualifying session followed by a 6-lap race, and it looks like we have some newcomers, and we have of course some returning drivers as well. One of the drivers in this session is of course Hazem Zaki, who is one of our 3 championship contenders at the moment, although he's quite a long shot. Actually, even Harry Hannam is also a long shot due to the 20-point gap already between ATCUAE and Harry Hannam, and then the gap between ATCUAE and Hazem is 23 points. So yes, this is a very interesting final. But we do have Hazem Zaki in the session. We also have Ayman Mohammed Zubair, who is here with us. We have Vishnu Karakat, or Moving Duck, who we're looking at right now, who's new to championship here this weekend. We have Dina Ihalasa, who is Thrai 22. Now, she's had some problems in the previous 2 rounds, and we haven't seen much of her racing in the championship. Let's see what this is, because I see there is a reprimand for a driver. Danny Shields being reprimanded for slightly impeding a driver on lap 2. So that was him on Jack Carlos, wasn't it? Because he went off in the penultimate corners. So reprimand there for Danny Shields. I don't think it will do much to him, and I don't think it will drop him out of any of the semi-finals. Maybe drop him a position, so we might see him in a different final than what he should be in. But he will still be in one of those semi-finals that we have here. So we said Clara 22 is here. Hopefully we see her out on track. One of the only female drivers in the championship this season. We haven't seen a race yet, but it'll be great to see her in this one. We have Mans Mansi, Mansour Al-Balushi, who is here new this weekend as well. Sex Collar returns to the championship with Strange Zach 203 with his PSN ID. We have Anthony Shanok, or SK Shanok, here, back for round 3. We have Salama Ketbi with the PSN ID of Rabdan Motorsports, Iyad Azab, and then Johnny Cafe Racer. I can't believe I was worried that as Caf and missed the E completely. But Johnny Crispin is here for the first time this weekend in our 3rd and final round of the championship. Could we say it's a little too late? Not quite, because of course things can turn on its head quite fast. Okay, maybe not for the championship, but anywhere else, and certainly he'll be looking to score points and outscore the rest of the field. So time to beat so far is a 2:01.703 or 7 not 7:03, I think it's slightly more than that, but that is the time to beat, a 2:01.7. So we do indeed have our 8 finalists for our semi-finals. which is great to see because, of course, all of our drivers went through. And now we will go 2 minutes to go before qualifying starts here. Well, it looks to be that Dina still may have issues here in this weekend's rounds, or races even, this weekend's rounds. So we have how many drivers? Let's get the board up on the left-hand side. There you go. On the left-hand side of your screen, you can see the drivers we have in the session. We have a total of 8 out of 10, which means if these 8 were to start the race, at least all of them will be into one of our 2 semi-finals. Unfortunately, for our other 2 drivers who will not make it into the session, they will not be in our semi-finals, which will be heartbreaking for them. So we are scheduled to take place at 4:30. We're running slightly behind schedule, but that's okay. It's because we had a few issues earlier on. Of course, with the same as we did with the first round of quarterfinals, we will have the same track, same conditions, same amount of laps and same time as well. So as you said, 7 minutes of qualifying followed by a 6-lap race here for our second heat race, or second quarterfinal of the 2021 EMSO E-Motorsports UAE National Championship, proudly sponsored by, of course, who are giving us amazing prizes, the Dubai Autodrome and Dragon Racing, who will be giving our top 3 some awesome prizes, we said, including BMW track day experiences and a Mini Cooper JCW experience as well at the Dubai Autodrome, courtesy of both the Dubai Autodrome and Dragon Racing. Very jealous of those prizes, but of course I am no match for the 30 drivers we have here this weekend. So about to get underway now with the second of our quarterfinal rounds here, with no less than 10 drivers, although it looks like we may have only 8, as 2 drivers have not made it into the session, although they may be in the lobby. They haven't joined the track, or they haven't come on track, and the qualifier is about to start, so it looks like we are getting ready to start our next quarterfinal here. This will now, of course, put 8 more drivers into our semi-finals. So as we did with the first quarterfinal, 4 will go into one semi-final, the other 4 will go into the other semi-final, and well, this is going to be quite interesting, this one here, because of course we have a lot of very fast drivers, and we have a lot of new drivers as well. Unfortunately, one of the new drivers that we have, Mansi, we are missing. We are also missing Dina as well. So heartbreaking not to see Dina race here again in round 3. Hopefully we will see her back at some point. I don't know. Hopefully we'll do this again next season. Of course, if you want to know more about the championship, or you want to follow everything that the EMSO is doing, you can head on over to all social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. Just look up EMSO and you can stay up to date with the happenings with EMSO. And if you'd like to learn more about the championship, you of course can head over to the EMSO website. Unfortunately, there are no more rounds after this except for the bonus round, but if you want to learn more about the championship, see championship standings, or see the drivers that are participating, or even sign up as a driver yourself digitally, you can head on over to the emso.ae website, and you can stay up to date with all the news. Possibly there might be an announcement for next year. Let's wait and see how that pans out, because again, we've had a very successful year again in 2021. Our first season was last year in 2020. We had a lot more rounds. This season only 3 rounds, with one bonus round taking place on August 6th, which will hold 12 drivers, with 2 of them going on to the MENA Digital Cup, which will be very cool indeed. And of course that is limited to just Emirati drivers, where our 2021 EMSO E-Motorsports UAE National Championship here is open to all nationalities and all drivers, as long as you have a PlayStation, a subscription to the PSN live service, I think it's called. Sorry, I'm not big on PlayStation. I do own one, but don't use it very often. And of course have a valid UAE or Emirates ID, because of course all our drivers here do reside in the United Arab Emirates. And well, let's talk about the racing that we have on track. So in this session we actually have one of our 3 championship contenders. which of course will be his number is Hazem Zaki or Yashit Gaz, who we're looking at right now. He is a long shot. He has currently 28 points out of a total of 75 points on offer throughout our 3 rounds. But due to the fact that we don't have our championship leader here, there is a possibility Yashit Gaz could be crowned champion for 2021. He has to win though, and he's gonna need his championship rival of Harry Hannon to score literally 0 points in the finale, which I would assume right now is going to be a very tough ask. But if everything comes together for Yashit Gaz, he could be crowned champion. The other championship contender that we have was in our first qualifying round, which we had a few minutes ago. That, of course, is Harry Hannum, who sits 20 points outside of our of the championship fight here. ATCUAE, who won round 1 and round 2, although it did look to go the way of Harry Hannum. But 2 weeks ago, on I think it was the penultimate lap, just got a little bit too loose going through one of the corners at Spa-Francorchamps, lost the car and gave the lead to ATCUAE, and unfortunately it was done there, and ATCUAE walked away with the championship. Harry Hannum unfortunately did tumble down the order as well, didn't even finish second position to score 18 points. He only scored 12 points in that race, which I think has hurt him ever so slightly, but he still is within a shot of winning the championship overall. Now, Zach Scotland's gone across line and done a 2:01.3. Mohammed Zubair has done a 2:01.4. So maybe the 2:01.7 from Harry Hannum wasn't correct, as Yashit Gaz does a 2:01.153. Johnny Carface, or Johnny, why did I read that as Johnny Carface? Johnny Cafe Racer does the quickest time of all with a 2:01.235 here at Mount Panorama. I think that's the quickest lap so far. It is indeed the quickest lap so far, because he's on pole, isn't he? Ahead of Zach Scholar, Mohammed Zubair, Hazem Zaki, Salam Aketbi, our newcomers as well behind. Still waiting for a few more laps to be completed here, but this is the man on pole position. I think this is the man that's going to take the fight to both Harry Hannum and Hazem Zaki. And, well, this is going to be quite interesting now, because, of course, Johnny Cafe Racer is, well, he's not in the championship hunt, but he's here for outright wins, and he's going very fast around the top of the mountain here. That BMW M6 looks to be on rails as he races away down the hill. Can we see a lower 2:01 here? Let's keep an eye on Johnny here. Mr. Crispin behind the wheel as he races away downhill. This could be very, very interesting, this finale, if we see Johnny, Harry and Hazem all in the same, as he goes quickest of all. They're at 0.3 of a second faster. Could he be the first driver to dip in the 2 minutes? Let's see how this pans out. Left, right, and then one more corner to go. This is the man on a mission here. We could see a new record here as he's into the left-hander. Goes Johnny Cafe Racer across the line. What does he do? As Hazem Zaki goes quickest of all at 2:01.042. Wow, that was fast for Johnny Cafe Racer. But Hazem Zaki does a 2-minute 9/10 of a second run on that lap. What a lap. We missed that completely. We were too busy looking at Johnny Cafe Racer. And what a lap that was from one of our championship contenders. I think he knows what's on the line. Although, what can he do about it? He's going to need some sort of a miracle here if he wants to be crowned champion, because of course he is of the three the furthest back on points. With only a gap of like 2 points between him. He's going to need Harry to finish, I think, 9th or worse in the final, if these two do make it into the final. But then think about if they have a 2-point gap between them anyway. He's going to need Harry to finish. Oh, sorry, wait, he's got. Yes, he does have 2 points. He'd need Harry to finish 10th or lower in the final if that's the case, if Yassi Gaz wants to be crowned champion. But we still, of course, have the semi-finals to go through. We may not see either of them in our semi-finals. Not by judging by their pace at the moment. We'll definitely see, I think we'll see both of them in the final. But let's wait and see, as Hazem Zaki doing a 2-minute 9/10 of a second here at Mount Panorama. He is taking the fight straight to Harry Hannum, and he's just done a purple sector here in sector 2 at Mount Panorama. He's 0.2 of a second faster. Can he improve on his final lap time? We saw Harry Hannum do this last time out as well in his qualifying session for the quarterfinal, the first quarterfinal we had. Into left-hander we go. Will he do a 2-minute 7? Let's see as he's across the line. Oh, he does a 2-minute 8. He improves by 1/10 of a second. Fantastic lap there from Hazem Zaki. But what can Johnny Cafe Racer do? Does he improve on that lap? No, he doesn't. He does a 2:02 777, but that's good enough for second place when we start our second quarter-final. Wow, I did not expect that. I did not expect someone to dip into the 2 minutes that fast, but Hazem Zaki has done it. And is this Hazem's day for Yasheed Gaz? Will he be the one to win the final? Will he be the one to walk away with maximum points at the end of the day? We're going to have to wait and see. With Hazem Zaki with the fastest lap of the race, of the qualifying, even a 2-minute 8:26. He was 0.2 of a second faster than anybody else here on the mountain. And there he is on the left-hand side of your screen. There on the right-hand side of your screen, Johnny Cafe Racer, new to the championship. Zach Scholar lines up in 3rd, with I Mohammed Zubair in 4th. Anthony Shanok is in 5th position, with the Adizab in 6th. Rabdan Racing, or Sanam Al-Ketbi, is in 7th, with Moving Duck in 8th position on the 4th row of the grid, right at the back here, and he is on the left-hand side of your screen at the tail end of the field. But it is Hazem Zaki who leads the field through the left-hander there for the first time with a phenomenal lap of 2 minutes and 9/10 of a second at the line. Green flag racing here for the second time in our final round of the championship for 2021. Down we go through into the left-hander for the first time. Does Johnny close the gap? Yes, he does. So Yassi Gaz a little bit too hot there. He was too late on the brakes, a little bit wide through that left-hander. And put 2 wheels on the grass, but now we thunder our way to the base of the mountain and we'll climb our way back up for the first time, and it's going to be very tricky for these two drivers. As on the inside goes Johnny. Does he look for a gap there? No, he doesn't, because Yassi Gaz closes the door on him as they race their way up for the first time. Let's see if the Ramon Labori can do a 2-minute flat in qualifying in Group 3. I wonder if he can do it. As we race our way up the mountain for the first time, it looks like Johnny not close enough to make a move, and looks like Rabdan Racing has dropped back already. Moving Duck is on a mission. He's up in a 6th position. Anthony Shanok has unfortunately dropped back as well. He started in 5th position. He's down into 8th place at the moment, with Iyad Azar moving up into 5th position. I Mohammed Zubair is 4th, Zach Scholar being in 3rd position, Johnny Cafe Racer in 2nd, and Hazem Zaki, one of our 3 championship contenders, in the lead of the race here. He wants to be in the semi-final really badly, and more importantly, he wants to be in the final. The good news is for him, though, is because we only have 8 drivers here in this race. We'll, of course, have all of our 8 drivers in one of our 2 semi-finals, 4 of which, as we said, will go into semi-final 1, and the other 4 will go into semi-final number 2. Let's go down to 2nd position with Johnny Cafe Racer, as we said, new to the championship here this weekend. Looking just for outright wins here, not looking for points as such, but could upset the party and could shake up the championship if he puts his car in the right place at the right time. And it could be disastrous for our championship rivals here this weekend. As we said, we're missing Aiko Sega, unfortunately, who is our championship leader by 20 points over Harry Hannum, as he scored maximum points so far in the championship with 50 points to his name. as we're looking at Johnny Cafe Racer here. There is Hazem Zaki, and it looks like there's a huge gap now between Mohamed Zubair and Iyad Izab. As Iyad Izab has just gone through the first corner where the top four went through it what feels like already a minute or so. The gap is 14 seconds, so it looks like the leading four, or leading quartet, have managed to shake the rest of the field already within just one lap. Now, we did say that we saw some movement further down. We saw Anthony Shinnock move down from, what, 5th position down to 8th. It looks like he's come back up to 6th position, but he's in hot pursuit now of Iyad Izab. Then we have behind him is Moving Duck, one of our newcomers. So he looks to be in the semi-finals for the first time. A great way to start a great way to enter the championship straight into a semi-final. And at the back of the field we have Salman Ketbi, who we'll also see in the championship, into one of our semi-finals. Now you can see Iyad Izab here struggling a little bit here with the walls, because of course, as we said before, in our first quarterfinal and our first qualifying as well, actually, Mount Panorama is very tight, especially at the top of the mountain. There's not a lot of runoff area, and the walls do close in quite quickly here. And last thing you want to do is bounce off the walls, as you can see, into the back goes Anthony Shinnock. He loses it on top of the mountain there, and you saw he was just far too quick through the corners. He's now down to 8th position. He's made that 7th position. Thought he had a problem there with the right rear, but as you can see, the mountain, well, it fights back. You can fight the mountain, but you probably will not win. You can try and conquer the mountain, as we've seen already, a few drivers do already, but as you can see, if you put one foot wrong, the mountain will bite back, and it will bite back hard as well. Hazem Zaki across the line, competing now lap number 2 onto the 3rd lap of the race here. He's led since the green flag dropped. Behind him is Johnny Cafe Racer, and then it is Zach Scholar, who's now putting the pressure on Mohamed Zubair. Actually, he's lost out, because Mohamed Zubair was 4th, wasn't he, before this lap started? And it looks like Zach Scholar's made a mistake somewhere, and that's allowed Mohamed Zubair to now take 3rd position. So he's on track for a podium here, as we race our way up the mountain here for the 3rd time. So change the position out there. Let's go down further down the field with one of our newcomers here, Moving Duck, as he's racing his way now to the base of the mountain, ahead of Anthony Shinnock, who unfortunately we saw into the wall. Here's Rub Down Racing with Salman Ketbi behind the wheel in 8th position at the moment. He can take a little bit more cautiously here, because of course he will be into one of our semi-finals. All the way down, as we said, in 8th position. Let's go back up with the race leader here. Hazem Zaki putting quite a substantial gap between himself and Johnny Cafe Racer. And actually looks like Johnny may have made a mistake somewhere and hit the wall, because he's lost significant ground to our race leader. The gap now 3 seconds between our top 2. So you go down to 3rd position. There's Mohamed Zubair. He's also starting to put a gap between himself and Zach Scholar at the moment, which is great news for Mohamed Zubair as well, as he can try and now latch onto the back of Cafe Racer, Johnny Crispum. But seems to be maybe too far back. But here is race leader Yasik Gaz. Looks like everything is going the way of the young Egyptian driver here. So of course, that's another thing that we have here in the championship. Yes, we all might live in the United Arab Emirates. However, we from all around the world. We have, of course, Egyptian, Emirati, English, Sri Lankan, Moroccan. We have drivers literally from all corners of the globe, which is always great to see. It's, they said here, Yasik Gaz out in front, in control of this race, and has not put a foot wrong. Maybe at the beginning he was slightly too late on the brakes there, put 2 wheels off on the grass. Going through the first corner. Wow, that's very tight from that camera angle there. Almost looks like he's going into the wall, but luckily he does not. As Hazem races his way up the mountain, keeps it clean and off the walls as well. I don't know how these guys do it. I was bouncing around. Oh, looks like a little bit of a love tap there going through the corner. Looks like running a little bit too wide there. So I don't know how these guys are keeping it off the wall this cleanly, although we have seen drivers in the wall further down the field. Down the field, let's go with 3rd position, who's still sporting his pop art / comic book art livery on his BMW M6 that we've seen him race with over the past 2 rounds. Dogecoin on top as well. Got to give him credit where credit is due. That's quite a livery as well. I could imagine that could take a long time. I think it was 3+ hours, he said, it took to design that livery he has on his BMW M6. It certainly was one of the winners in our livery. Andre, shame that you can't be here. We will miss you on track. Corey, of course, raced in round 1 and 2. We saw him last season as well, but must have other commitments to deal with. But he is here supporting fellow drivers in support of Mohammed Zubair, who we're looking at right now as he's into the left-hander here to start the penultimate lap here at Mount Panorama. They're missing a few drivers here this weekend. Still a strong field of 30+ drivers. It's not 30+, but it's 30, actually exactly 30 drivers, because we have 10 per heat, or 10 per qualifying round, excuse me. As Mohammed Zubair here currently in 3rd position. Now, he's not been able to shake Zach as much as I think he'd like to. So Zach is still in close proximity. One small mistake here from Zubair, and of course Zach could be back up into 3rd position. Let's see if Jack Carlos is able to catch Hazem up. No, it doesn't look like he can, or has been able to either, because Hazem now sits 4.3 seconds up the road and just kisses the wall ever so slightly. Again, I don't know how these guys do it. Much tighter line there from Johnny Cafe Racer. He did set the qualifying round on fire. This is the fastest man around the track. And then immediately before he came across the line, Yassi Gaz answered straight away with a 2-minute flat, 9.72 I think it was, for our race leader at the moment, the quickest man so far this weekend. Now, certainly have the time to beat. I don't think we'll get close to that. Let's go a bit further down the field now. It looks like we have a battle brewing at the back of the field between Moving Duke. I thought that was actually Moving Duck. It's Moving Duke now, isn't it? So I've been saying his PSN ID wrong, as Moving Duke is powering his way up the mountain, and in close proximity is Salam Al-Ketbi. He's looking to improve here, see if he can nab 7th position. And do we have a battle brewing for 3rd position? Has Zach been able to catch up? Not quite. Looks about 4 car lengths separating the two of them as they work their way now through down towards the final corner here. At Mount Panorama, into the left-hander we go, and we're about to start the final lap of the race. Better yet, we have started the final lap of the race here with Hazem Zaki, who has, I want to say he's not put a foot wrong, and amazingly enough, we haven't seen a single penalty pop up here. No one has been cutting corners, no one's been cheeky, no one's been trying to punt other drivers off. We've seen very clean racing here so far. Okay, we have seen 1 reprimand due to a driver coming on track and in front of another driver, possibly, and it could have caused a collision. So we've seen a reprimand already. But in terms of penalties, harsh ones that involve time penalties, we've yet to see one. So it's been very clean here this weekend. And I've probably jinxed it, because either our 3rd quarterfinal or our semi-finals or our final are going to be completely bonkers, aren't they? As Hazem Zaki now on top of the mountain, will be now climbing his way down. He's through now one of the trickiest parts of the track here. Here's where I had a lot of problems when I was practicing myself earlier on today, especially that complex of corners right there. I was constantly into the wall, just kept missing the braking zone. I've got to give credit where credit is due for these guys. They have it on point here at Mount Panorama. As Hazem Zaki now has escaped the twists and turns of the mountain and is now on to the 2nd of the straightaways here that we have. It should be the 3rd of the straightaways. So we have, of course, 1 in the front straight. We have a 2nd after the left-hander, and then we have this very fast one here through the fastest corner of the track as well. Flat out through that corner as well, but then heavy onto the brakes into this braking zone here into the left-hander. I can't tell you how much you have to brake going down to the corner, because if you miss one of those braking markers, that's it. You're into the gravel and you're into the grass, which would cost you the race. But here is Yassi Gaz, or Hazem Zaki, across the line to win his quarterfinal here and to cement his place in the semi final. A great race there from Hazem Zaki, one of our 3 championship contenders. Johnny Cafe racer there across the line in 2nd. Mohamed Zubair in 3rd. Zach Scholar is 4th across the line. Iyad Izab is working his way downhill. He will be across the line and take 5th position at the line. So the good news is that we'll see him into a final, into a semi-final even, as he now works his way through the penultimate corners, and the race will time out now. So 4 drivers there completing, and that's how fast or how far ahead our top 4 were. And as we said, that wraps up our 2nd of our quarterfinals. It's a great race there from Hazem Zaki, but is it enough? Has he got more in him? Because he's going to have to do that and much more if he wants to be crowned champion at the end of today. We'll now move on into our 3rd of our quarterfinals. We'll have another 10 drivers. This one, though, we don't have any of our championship contenders in here, but we do have a defending champion in Roman Labori, who will be in this session, and we'll have a quick look at who is supposed to be here, and if we have an additional driver. Now, I know that one driver did not make it into this, will not be taking part. That will be Gaith Al-Mullah. Unfortunately, did not, he pulled out just at the beginning of, before the race actually started, I think about an hour or so before, which is rather unfortunate, but we will have at least 10 drivers, because I know that we would have the return of Rami Azam, who we've been waiting for to return to the championship. Of course, was in the 2020 season. Unfortunately, he was in Qatar for the first 2 rounds, so he didn't participate. I guess he didn't have access to his PlayStation. And I know that he wanted to race in here, and I know that he was on the provisional entry list, or the revised one, before we started the race. And before the first quarterfinal, he actually said that he had a problem with his setup, and he's saying that his his pedal was stuck on full throttle, which obviously would cause obvious problems. You don't want to go full throttle, especially around the top of the mountain. So let's see if we have Rami Azam. Like we said, we're missing Gaith Al-Mullah, unfortunately. We do, though, have in this session, we have Muhammad Jalan Khan, or MJK 704. We have Vishesh Oberi, or Vishal 34. We have Gibran Khan, who's Gibran _MJ. We have Zuhair Hassan Zulkelfi, or ZU 2530. Now, unfortunately for the young Malaysian driver last time out, he was one of the quickest drivers we had, and unfortunately he disconnected during his semi-final, which cost him obviously a shot at the final, which is really unfortunate. And for some reason, I have my controller, my cursor on the screen. I don't know why it's missed. It's there. It should not be there at all. There we go. Now it's gone, but we need to see who's in the session. That's not what we do it. We do it. Okay, why is it not working? Okay, we're going to have to bring the cursor back up, because it looks like we're having some technical difficulties. It says the keyboard is on, so why can I not use said keyboard? The number lock is not on. Oh, and I've got back somehow to there. So apologies for that, for the brief blackout. We had to, I don't know, we're having a few technical difficulties here with my keyboard for some reason. It's decided to not work. So do bear with me here. Why is my keyboard not working now? Why isn't it responding? Shall I do the typical turn it on and off? I think we're going to have to unplug it and plug it back in. So just, we'll take a short break here. Apologies for the technical difficulties we had there. It seemed my keyboard had other plans rather than assisting me with camera angles and looking at who is where. So we can actually pull up now our drivers and to see who we have in the session. Actually, no, we cannot. We can only change for some reason. What is going on with the keyboard now? So I do apologise for the technical difficulties that we're currently having. It seems to be my function keys are not functioning. Let's try this. No. So my keyboard has decided to do its own thing. Oh, we've actually got it back. Perfect. The keyboard has decided to play nice. Sorry about that. Apologies for that. Apologies for the technical difficulties, but we're back in action here, both from the keyboard's point of view and from my point of view as well. And it looks like we're going to get racing soon. We've got 9 drivers in the session. I think that's the maximum amount of drivers we will have. And we have returning drivers and we have new drivers as well here this weekend. So unfortunately, it looks like Rami still has problems, or better yet, technical difficulties. It looks like his controller or his setup may still be broken, which is unfortunate for Rami Azam. It's been great to see him in the championship. He's a very rapid driver indeed, but unfortunately he will not be partaking in this session. And it looks like we're about to get the qualifier underway. So let's have a quick, let's go back to who we have in the session. So we have Mohammed Jinglan, we have Vish Overu, who's Vish R34, we have Gibran Khan, we have Zuhair Hassan Al-Khalfi, who we said is a very rapid driver indeed, but unfortunately due to disconnection issues in our previous round, we unfortunately missed out on seeing what the Malaysian driver could have done, because we could have shaken up the championship actually with him in the finals, but unfortunately disconnection issues put him at a deficit in our semi-finals. Gait Al-Mullah unfortunately not here, Rami Azam also not here, who was scheduled to take his place, with neither two unfortunately being in the session. We have Muhammad Rashid, Chugu. I'm pretty sure we had Chugu in the previous rounds, but possibly a new driver here this weekend. So Nick Gonzalez, we've had him. He had drama actually in our previous final 2 weeks ago. Great to see him back in the championship. Newcomer, Mayank here with his PSN ID of Maxiter. And then we have Patrick Cannon. It's a great last name there, Cannon. It's Patricia, is that it? It's Patricia, yeah, I guess that's his PSN ID. And then we have, of course, defending champion Romaldo Labori in this qualifying and quarter-final race here. Now, as we said, we can have a look through all the drivers that we have. Do we have 9 drivers? Yes, we do, which is great news. As we said, we're missing Gaith Al-Mullah or Rami Azam, unfortunately, here in this race. And it looks like Ovicho 9, who unfortunately disconnected in his first quarterfinal, or our first quarterfinal as well, earlier on today, unfortunately does not get a free pass and is not allowed to partake in quarterfinal number 3. So that's the unfortunate thing with doing races online and digitally, is of course internet connections. We've all had disconnections. I mean, I've had technical difficulties for the first time myself here in our championship. Last season was pretty difficult as well. There were a lot of disconnections last season actually. And we're currently underway now in our qualifying. Now, we did in the previous round, we did a 2-minute 9, so 2-minute flat and then 9/10 of a second, and that was done by Hazem Zaki, who's, as we said, one of our 3 title contenders here for the championship. One of them that could shake up things up is this man right here, but who would be the fastest of this session? I don't know, and I can't tell you that right now. Let's see what Romaldo Labori, defending champion, is up to, as he's now starting his first qualifying lap. I mean, he's done his out lap, so he's now on his flying lap now. And of course, drivers get 2 chances here. We're running a maximum of 2 minutes, and we have qualifying of 7 minutes, an out lap of 2:28 to 2:30. So yeah, we should have enough time to at least do 2 flying laps on track. And then, of course, we'll have the 6-lap race. Qualifying serves as where the drivers will sit in the at the start of the race. And, well, let's see who goes fast. Let's see if anyone can beat our fastest man of the race, of the weekend so far, which, of course, is Hazem Zaki. As you said, did a 2-minute flat, 9/10 of a second, with Mr. Crispin doing, Johnny Crispin, excuse me, doing a 2:01. I think he was 2:01.09 something, because he was 0.2 of a second off of Hazem Zaki. Let's see what we can do here with our next lot of 9 drivers. So this will be the first time actually this weekend we'll actually have one driver who we won't see in our semi-finals, who will not advance. We'll have our first driver to be eliminated. Oh, Zoo2530 on his first flying lap does a 2-minute flat 6. He is 0.3 of a second faster compared to Hazem Zaki. As we said, this is a driver that we really need to keep an eye on here in round 3. Unfortunately, as you said, he disconnected during our second round and he missed the semi-final, which was complete drama for him because he was very rapid indeed, and he looks to be extremely fast here at Mount Panorama, going 0.3 of a second quicker than what we've seen already. Romano Labori, defending champion, does a 2:01.291 and sits in second position. He's almost a second slower than the young Malaysian driver who's now thundering his way through the mountain, quite literally here. And he looks to be on another flying lap here as he works his way down through, or better yet, at the very top of the mountain here. He's winding his way through. He's slightly slower, less than 1/10 of a second slower, but I'm pretty sure he can gain some ground here if he hits the braking points exactly when he needs to and is on the throttle when he needs to be as well. As he winds his way down, this is going to be an incredible lap here from Zuhair here. As he winds his way down. And let's see what he can do. He's on one of the fastest parts of the track here. Full throttle through this right-hander. And now he's 1/10 of a second slower. Goes straight to the outside and then cuts the inside immediately. Heavy on the brakes now. As he's into the penultimate corners. Right we go, and then into the final left-hander. Can he improve? I don't think he will. I think he's slightly slower on this lap, but let's see what he can do. Can Zuhair go quicker again? It was an incredible first flying lap there with a 2:06, a 2-minute flat. Oh, he does a 2:08, but still he's 1/10 of a second faster in comparison to our Hazem Zaki, who was the quickest in the second of the quarterfinals. And it looks like, I think Zuhair is going to save the rest of his car and all his energy for the next race. I think he's comfortable with what he's done there, and I think too right, he is certainly comfortable there. I don't think many will get close to that, because Romano Labori, well, he's just done a best lap, and he's done a 2:01.291. No, he hasn't. He's done a 2-minute as well. He's done a 2:06. Oh, and he's just gone fastest as well as Romano Labori. Wow, that I did not expect that. Romano Labori goes quickest of all. What a lap, and he's still got a final lap here. Zuhair should have done an extra lap if he wanted to be on pole, because he's just lost it. That is a very, very interesting move what he did. I think he thought no one could best him. I honestly thought no one could best him as well, but Romano Labori has changed that. He has gone fastest of all here at Mount Panorama. Can he go faster again? And he's gone faster by 0.06. Less than thousands. I don't know how many, what the decimal place for that is. That's thousands. What comes after thousand? Hundreds? No. It's some math. It's a big math. That's what it is. It's a very big math here. As Romano Labori is going quicker again. He's almost 1/10 of a second faster this time round. As he winds his way down the hill. It did look a bit slow going through there. Just from my eyes here, as we're now onto the back straight here. Through the left-hander we go. Romano Labori, as you said, 1/10 of a second faster already in his BMW M6. What can he do? Can he improve the time when he comes across the line again? Can he do a 2:0? Can he do a 2-minute flat 5? I think he will do if he stays on track right now. If he doesn't put a foot wrong going into this braking zone now, into the left-hander we go. It'll be a quick right-hander. Oh, looked a bit squirrely through the corner there. And he's down now. Oh, he's got traffic in front of him. He's got Gibran MJ. Can he move out of the way? Oh, he's going to catch him in the wrong place. Oh, he caught him in the braking zone. I think that's it. I don't think he's going to improve in time. But still, he has that 2:06 on the clock there. Unfortunately, he did lose out there. He just caught Gibran there at the wrong part of the track. But what a valiant effort from defending champion Romain Labori. He's certainly going out with a bang here in the final race. We haven't seen him win a final yet, but I think this may be the day here. I know that we thought, I don't know why we're saying we, but I thought it would be one of the others. It would, or Harry, Jack, Zuhair, Johnny, and maybe now even possibly Romalo. This is going to be an epic third quarterfinal here. There is confirmation of who is where, and Romain Labori at the front of the field here. Now, what can he do from here? Can he stay out in front? He's the fastest man out there, but that doesn't always convert into a win. Let's see how this plays out, because of course 1 foot wrong and the mountain fights back immediately. Left-hand side of your screen is Romain Labori. Right-hand side of your screen is Zuhair. Now we see on the right-hand side is Romain Labori, who's on the front row of the grid. Then we have Sunic Gonzalez in third, with Mohamed Jalan in fourth alongside for company on the second row of the grid, with Patrick Cannon and Chugu on the third row of the grid, Gibran and Vish on row number 4, and then at the back of the field in 9th position is Maxitude. Let's go with our pole sitter as the green flag waves here for the third time in our quarterfinals, our third and final quarterfinal as well. For Romain Labori, who leads the field down towards the first corner. This is going to be an epic scrap between Romalo and Zuhair. A little bit loose through the first corner there for Romain Labori, but here comes Zuhair. He's in hot pursuit as we're in a nice tidy line down to the base of the mountain, and then we'll thunder our way up for the third time here in our third quarterfinal. As we race our way up for the first time, how close is Zuhair? It doesn't look like he's managed to claw in that much time, but the gap is what, 5/10 of a second between the two of them? Yes, it is. Sunic Gonzalez under pressure already from Mohamed Jalan going through the first couple of corners there. The battle is on for not just the lead of the race, but for third as well. I can imagine there's some more battles brewing further down the field as well. Let's follow Mohamed Jalan here, who's in 4th position at the moment. In his sort of, what, is that teal-coloured? Yeah, it looks like teal-coloured BMW M6. I think he's got the office motif still on the side of it. Does he? Can't quite catch a glimpse of what it is. Yes, indeed, he does. He does have Thug Life from The Office and Steve Carell on the left-hand side of his car, and then on the other side, I can't remember what it was. Let's see if we get a better shot. Here's Patrick Cannon. He's decided to use one of the stock liveries in Gran Turismo. He's currently circulating 5th position, looking for his first semi-final. Chugu as well, also racing in one of the stock liveries, Vishar 34. I think he's one of our drivers that is not using a BMW M6. By the looks of it, no, he is using a BMW M6. I thought I saw a BMW Z4 somewhere. I guess I didn't. I guess everyone's opted to use the BMW M6 here in these races. But yet there is the Z4. I knew we had one. It is Gibran MJ who is racing in the Z4. All by his lonesome in 9th position at the moment. Good news is for Maxitude is that he's already gained a position on the opening lap in his M6. Also has the same livery as 2 other drivers, Patrick Cannon and Chugu as well. And there you can see the downside to using the Z4. It just is underpowered compared to the M6. You can see that gap already building. Back with the race leaders now as Romain Labori coming under pressure from Zuhair. As the gap is now down to 2 car lengths, they're managing now to put a gap between themselves and Sunic Gonzalez, who now doesn't have just Mohamed Jalan to deal with. Soon enough, he's going to have Patrick Cannon as well to deal with. As Patrick Cannon behind, currently in 5th position at the moment, maybe about half a corner behind, but still in close proximity for either of these two to clatter the wall. He's going to be up there in 3rd position. Let's go back up with the race leader. So as the gap is coming down between Romain Labori and Zuhair here. Romain Labori, the fastest man officially now this race weekend, with 2-minute flat and 6/10 of a second here on the mountain. as we're now racing over through sector 2. Oh, it looks like Zuhair was into the wall there, wasn't he? Just in the background. He's a bit too hot there, a little bit too late on the brakes. And that's now allowed Romain Labori to extend his lead ever so slightly. So we race our way now down the mountain. Sri Lanka out in front here. As we said, defending champion, unfortunately not close enough on points to get anywhere close. He's currently 4th overall with 23 points to his name. 25 points on offer. Unfortunately, he will be 2 points behind ATCUAE, so unfortunately he won't be able to claim victory. He could claim, though, 3rd position or 2nd if things go his way. But again, as we said before with Hazem Zaki, he's going to have to... He needs a miracle to happen, essentially. So let's see how this will pan out. No doubt we'll see him in one of our 2 semi-finals. We'll see at least 8 of our drivers in this session in one of our 2 semi-finals as well. As through into the left-hander goes Romain Labori. Still Zuhair is in hot pursuit, and he's really pushing it here as well. You can see going off in each and every corner so far. He's even hit the wall once or twice at the top of the mountain. Romain Labori continues to lead. The gap is less than a second between the two of them. And going into that first sector, Romain Labori begins to stretch out that gap again. Also through sector 2 as well. But it's sector 3 where Zuhair starts to close the gap in. As we're now racing away up the mountain here for the 3rd time. Romain Labori continues to lead by 0.6 of a second. Let's go a bit further back. Let's look at the battle for 3rd position, because it is heating up now between Sunic Gonzalez. They've lost now Romain Labori and Zuhair. But Patrick Cannon has gained quite significantly as well, because look at him now. He's literally latched on the back bumper of Mohamed Jalan. Let's see actually if we can ride on board with Patrick Cannon as he just grazes the wall there. And you see he's lost a little bit of ground there. That's what happens when you graze the wall. He was all over the back of Mohamed Jalan like a cheap suit, but it looks like he's dropped back now. And it's one of the trickiest parts of the corner here. Trying to follow the line of Mohamed Jalan and try to close that gap back up again. A slight graze on the wall too. That time round. And now into the left-hander again. Let's go back up now. Let's follow actually 4th place. Let's follow Mohamed Jalan, who's in the middle of this. And it looks like he's lost a little bit of ground. He may have hit the wall as well, because now Patrick Cannon all over the back of Mohamed Jalan again here. Sunic Gonzalez now is able to breathe a little bit as Mohamed Jalan has to go defensive. And on the inside goes Patrick Cannon. But yeah, this is the outside. No, it is the inside line, isn't it? Because now we're going to the right-hander. He's going to have to... Oh, that was very close there. A slight tap there, but Mohamed Jalan has the inside line for this corner. It's Lewis Hamilton on the right-hand side of his car, isn't it? On left-hand, it's Steve Carell. On the right-hand side, it's Lewis Hamilton. So we're now going to the left-hander. We're going to go side-by-side as well through the left-hander, and it looks like Patrick Cannon is going to try and get the cut back. If you can see the position ever so briefly there. And they're going to go side-by-side across line. But Mohamed Jalan is just in front, but Patrick Cannon has the inside line and takes 4th place away. But the bad news is that Sunic Gonzalez has managed to escape up the road, and he's managed to escape up the road quite significantly as well, hasn't he? He's now 3 seconds up the road. He was less than a second not too long ago. So a couple of corners here at Mount Panorama, and you can really escape if there's a battle brewing behind you. I can still tell you that Romain Labori still leads ahead of Zuhair, and now Sunic Gonzalez is in hot pursuit of our leading duo. But the battle still rages on here between Patrick Cannon and Mohamed Jalan, who are battling for 4th position at the moment. As the two continue to battle up and atop the mountain as well. Looks like Patrick's now been able to put a gap between himself and Mohamed Jalan, and is now in hot pursuit of Sunic Gonzalez. Although it looks like Sunic has managed to escape up the road. Indeed, he has. He's almost 5 seconds up the road already. Where did he find all that time? He's playing defensive here at Mount Panorama. Doesn't help you at all. I think now Patrick Cannon not playing defensive. He's now trying to attack, and he's trying to put the power down and try and catch Sunic Gonzalez. See if he can take away 3rd place. As Romain Labori continues to lead. Let's go back up with the race leaders. Zuhair still over the back of Romain Labori, but not finding a way through just yet. as Romano Labori continues to lead here. There's a map panorama. Zuhair is what, 14th of a second? Yes, it is. I think that's the closest he's been so far, unless he's been with under 0.3 of a second to our race leader. Here we go through sector 1. It looks like Mohamed Zubair got a nice and tight exit through the left-hander. Has managed to stay with Romano Labori. About 2 car lengths separate the two of them. You could easily fit 2 BMW M6s in between at the moment as they're racing their way now through sector 1. The gap is coming now down to less than 0.3 of a second. We'll keep an eye as well on the left-hand side of the screen to see if there's any potential change between Patrick Cannon and Mohamed Jalan, who are battling for 4th position. We'll keep a close eye on this battle here for the lead of the race. Labori continues out in front, but here comes Zuhair as well. He's closing in through the 1st and 2nd sectors now. He's managed to get to grips of it, but where can he pass him? Because as we said before, this track is very tight. Maybe possibly wide enough for 3 cars. Probably 2 is ideal, but 3 definitely would be really stretching it. We've seen side by side at the top of the mountain already, as Zuhair gives Romano Labori a slight tap there. A slight cut the corner there from the Sri Lankan as well. We now race our way downhill for the penultimate time. It looks like from that little tap there, Zuhair has lost a bit of ground. He's a bit too feisty at the top of the mountain as well. I think he has to pick and choose his points where he wants to overtake, and it's got to be somewhere down here as well, into this right-hander. We've seen it very busy down here. It was only Harry Hannam and James Swindells that were brave enough to battle at the top of the mountain. So lap time so far for Romano Labori. Last time around was a 2:01.046 Hazem, and then for 2nd position we had a 2:minute 5:44. Actually, wow, that's a very quick lap time on track as well, and actually that's faster than Romano Labori's qualifying time, oddly enough. So Romano Labori no longer the fastest man out here. Instead, Zuhair is the fastest man out here as the young Malaysian driver, but currently sitting in 2nd position for the time being. Let's go back down to 3rd position. Sunit Gonzalez now all by his lonesome, was battling not too long ago with both Patrick Cannon and Mohamed Jalan for what would be overall 3rd position. But, Sunit Gonzalez now in 3rd position, 10 seconds adrift from Zuhair and 4.4 seconds adrift from Patrick Cannon. Let's go to 4th position. It looks like Patrick Cannon's put quite a sizable gap between himself and Mohamed Jalan. It's, as we said, 4.5 seconds between Patrick and Sunit. And then it's 3.1 seconds, or maybe it's 3 seconds now between Mohamed and Cannon. Let's go back with the race leader, though, as Romano Labori works his way down the mountain. It looks like Zuhair is trying to make a move somewhere that hasn't paid off. I think he's hit the wall again, somewhere at the top of the mountain. Again, you've got to be very brave if you want to try and make a move at the top of the mountain. Climbs his way down now, looking for an outright race victory here. Been a while since we've seen Romano Labori on the top step of the podium. It's a dominant force in the 2020 championship. This season floated around the mid-pack. He has been on the podium. He was in our 2nd of our semi-finals. He's now through into the penultimate corners now, the quick complex of left and then right, and I don't think he has much to worry about with Zuhair attacking him through the final corners, as he's managed to put another second between himself and Zuhair. So now down into the left-hander for the final time, and Romano Labori will win the quarter-final number 3, and he will move on to the semi-final along with Zuhair. So Nick Gonzalez as well, as he works his way through the left-hander. He'll also be into one of our semi-finals. Patrick Cannon for the first time as well this weekend, and the championship will be in our semi-final as well, along with Mohamed Jalan, who we've seen in the final a number of times already. We have Vishal 34, but where will he finish? He's going to finish in 6th position, or will he, as both Vish and Chugu are off the track. Now, I'm pretty sure the stewards are going to look at that. We caught the tail end of what was going on there. We saw both drivers go off, but Chugu finished in 6th, with Vishal 34 in 7th. And that all-important 8th position went to another one of our newcomers of Maxitude, which will put him into our semi-finals. So we have 2 newcomers here into our semi-finals, and well, that wraps up our quarterfinals. And we'll now move on to our semi-finals, we will. And we are scheduled to start our first semi-final. Let's have a look at what time we will start that, because that was quite an interesting race as well. We had a lot of action midway through, and then we had some action at the right of the end there with 2 drivers going off through the penultimate corner. And as we said, I'm quite sure that the officials and the stewards will be looking at that, because it did look like someone outbroke themselves. The first of the semi-finals is scheduled to take place in about 14 minutes. So at 5:40 will be the first of our semi-finals. That will give me a chance to have a drop of water and potentially take a break as well. We'll try our best to keep this running. So what we do anyway, we don't stop the stream here. We keep it going continuously for the entire duration, which can go anywhere close to 3, even 4 hours. We have how many drivers in the session right now? Let's have a look. Why don't we actually, while we wait, let's take a splash of water, because we've got some time anyway. Why don't we have a go around Mount Panorama, and you can see how bad I am around the track. Let's have first-hand experience, shall we? I've got myself, well, I haven't got the BMW M6, so of course I can't show you what they're racing in, but I can show you what it's like to race behind the wheel of a Group 3 car here. And yes, you can all have a good laugh now. So let's have a quick go round. We have, as you said, we've got some time before the qualifying starts, and no doubt I know that there are some stewards watching, so I'll be told off when it's my turn to get off of the track. But here we go. Let's have a quick go around Mount Panorama for ourselves here. So we're on the one of the longest straights here, one of the quickest parts of the track as well. Is we're over the crest now into one of the heaviest braking zones. So I do apologise if my line is not exact and I'm braking in the wrong places. I'm not a professional, as James Swindells wants to get through as fast as possible. I'm being punted off all over the place. Thank you, Danny Shields, for punting me off. And it's completely thrown my lap out completely, as you see Danny Shields there into the wall. You can see just how tight it is up here as well, as Danny Shields continues to rub me up the wrong way. Now, who's that's bumping me now? You know what? You just go through. Let me through. I'm trying to show our fans here the track all by my lonesome, Patrick, if you don't mind. As we're now into the left-hander. Again, got to stay off the walls there, because the walls can bite you quite hard. Into left-hander again. We've seen quite a few people go into that wall there on the right-hand side. And it looks like the trio here have stopped in my way. And are they trying to block me in here, or are they trying to do their own thing here? Now down into the right-hander or the left-hander here. This is a very quick chicane here, and very difficult, as you see for me there, as James just blocks me going down there. Yes, James, you're probably better at this than I am. Don't make me look like a complete fool. As James decides to spin in front of me. Into the right-hander, and now down into the left-hander we go. Again, apologies for not getting the braking areas right and the accelerating points and the apexes. I'm definitely not the best at this. That's why I'm talking about it instead of racing in the series. Leave the racing up to these fine gentlemen and ladies. As we're now to the fastest part of the track here, and as you can see, we can go flat out through this corner here. I've got my finger fully down on the right trigger, and we're going to go into the right-hander here. I'm not going to lift at all. Going to clip the curb. And heavy, very heavy braking. You can see there, if you brake too late, that's it. You're off into the grass, as we've all just done here ourselves. And you can see you've got to be really, really early on the brakes there. Got to let go of the throttle. I think probably actually going flat out through that corner is probably not the most ideal situation to do. And then into the left-hander on our final corner here. In the corner we go. And that was an attempt at a lap of Mount Panorama. The worst possible lap you'll probably see in your entire life, but we still got some more time, so why don't we try it again, and you can watch me get punted off a million more times. I see that's who's that behind me? That's Zach Scholar, that's behind me, isn't he? I think he's going to play nice. There's Mohammed Jalan in his teal BMW M6. I'm going to allow Zach through on the inside. So there's the braking markers. You can see how late these guys are braking as well. I brake so early in these corners, and of course that's where I lose all my time. Like I said, I was running 224s before. I was doing, I think my slowest time was a 238 on this track, and there you go. See, I'm really, really not good through these corners as I attempt to race my way up the hill. Onto the curbs there. Got to be careful of those as well, because you put too many wheels across there, you're going to go straight into the wall. Do not want to clatter myself into that wall either. As into the left-hander we go. As I said, I really struggle up here. It's incredible how these guys are doing it. As now my favourite part of the track, and also my most hated part of the track, because I just can't do this bit here. Right, left, and there you go. See, I've caused a little bit of a disruption there for Mohammed Jalan, because he's always gotten to the back of me there. Oh, that was tight, but there we go. Straight into the wall. I ruined it immediately, and I see a load of other drivers followed me in as well. It's a good thing we're practicing here and not qualifying, because I can imagine a few drivers there. Wow, the drivers here are very fast, unless they've gone into the pit lane and then done a flying lap out there. Because Patrick Di Battista, he was in front of me not too long ago, and he's just gone past me again. Is now back onto the fastest straight here. I love this part of the track here. We dip down, and then we up on the rise again as well. And then into the fastest part of the track. You know what I'm going to do this time? I'm going to let off the gas ever so slightly here. I'm going to let off now, and then I'm going to brake going down to the 200 board there. But you can see there I'm still braking far too early. You see how late Patrick Di Battista broke there. Okay, granted he was off the gravel as well, with two tires on the right hand side, and I have not broke at all here, as I'm going to miss the apex completely, and off I go again. So it looks like I would possibly be, so the other drivers are doing 2 minutes. Yeah, I'd be about 20 odd seconds slower than these guys are, and it's all because it's down to braking. I brake far too early. I don't get on the accelerator early enough either, and well, as I said, there's a reason I'm talking about the racing and not doing it myself, because yeah, I'm not very good at this racing on track as well. Although I just did a personal best. I guess I should really learn to brake a little bit earlier. I guess it's my turn now to exit this. And there were 2 attempts around the map panorama circuit. As I said, probably the worst 2 laps you'll ever see around the circuit. We'll stick to spectating and talking about what's on screen. We have... Okay, so I've just been told to get off track. I've been told that I've been naughty and that I shouldn't be racing with the rest of them. So I've now officially left it to the drivers, and we'll start the race, the qualifying race, in about 2 minutes. So again, what we'll do is we'll qualify for 7 minutes, and then we'll extend the laps that have been to be completed from 6 to 8. Oh, Zubair, you're just being nice now, aren't you? That was a terrible lap time. They were both terrible lap times. I was 20 seconds slower than the rest. I think I was 20 seconds slower than the slowest qualifying time so far this weekend. So that was pretty bad on my behalf. But yeah, we're about 2 minutes away from starting the qualifying. As we said, we will have 7 minutes of qualifying, and then we'll have 8 laps of racing, so we'll extend the race distance by 2 laps. And of course, with tyre wear on now, this is going to play a key factor, because of course, tyre wear, you've got to conserve your tyres here, especially when there's some very hard corners at the top and there's some very heavy braking zones as well. Last thing you want are flat spots, and I like that too. So in this session, let's see who we have. We have Johnny Cafe Racer, we have Sunic Gonzalez, who we just saw racing in the 3rd quarter final. We have Zach Scholar, we have Patrick Di Battista, who's punting me off not too long ago. We have Zolo Vita, we have Anthony Shannock, we have Danny Shields, who was also punting me off while I was attempting to do some flying laps. Salam Al-Ketbi is here as well, with Mohammed Jalan, who I think I caused a little bit of disruption for. For some reason it still says that I'm on track. I don't get why. And then we have Romaldo Labori. Has something gone awry here? I've gone off track. Yes, I have. Why is it still showing that? Oh, because I guess I put laps in, haven't I? So I think we're actually missing. Oh no, we have everybody. It's just I'm the bonus one there, aren't I? That's 20 seconds slower than the rest of the field. Yes, marvelous. So we also have Vishar 34, and we have Romaldo Labori, of course, who just won the third qualifying run there. So we should get started shortly, if I'm not mistaken, for our qualifying for our first semi-finals. Of course, we will have two semi-finals, and how it'll work here is we won't take the top 8, we'll actually take the top 6 of our 12 drivers here. So we'll take half the field, those 6 that finish obviously in 1st through 6th. They will go into our final, and then we'll do the second of the semi-finals. We'll have the other 6, 1st through 6th, in the second semi-final, and put them in the final with the first 6th for a grand finale where we'll start dishing out the points. Maximum points you can gain here in a weekend is 25. Why does it show me on track? Why has it done that? I went to spectate. Am I stuck? How did this happen? Great. So I am now stuck. There we go. Spectate. There we go. Thank you, Zubair, for that. I was almost going to... That would have been awful, because I would have had to only have one camera angle. It would have been the end of pit lane, and that's all you would have seen. You wouldn't have seen any of the track battles going on at all. So I think I've learnt my lesson. I won't jump into the next one here. Where's the red X? There's no red X, is there? No, I'm spectating now. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm still at Rami. I'm now spectating. It's fine. We have the correct camera angles now. But now we're underway officially for qualifying here at Mount Panorama. Wait, does it still show that I'm in the session? Let's have a look. Does it still show that I'm 11th? It does not. So I'm not here at all, or am I? Am I 13th? I'm 13th. What is going on here? Am I going to have to leave this session entirely, or is it okay like this? I don't think it will cause much of a problem. Wait, I'll probably go into the race, won't I? I'm going to have to go back. Okay. I will leave, and I will come back, and... Oh, there we go. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Rami, for that. So all I had to do was press the X, and I'm now spectating, so I'm no longer on the track. I am now spectating only. Yes, thank you, Rami. My pea-sized brain wasn't comprehending that at the time being. So yes, let's put the timings up on the screen. So let's see who we have on the left-hand side of the screen here. We should have a total of 12. Do we have a mysterious 13th driver? No, we don't, because I've left the session now officially, and we're now getting our first flying laps in the books. We're doing our out laps, and let's see who will go lower than 2:05. As we said, Zuhair did a 2:05 in race conditions, not during qualifying, as James Swindell's completely misses the braking zone like I did practicing before, and he is now, well, he's tumbling down the order, so he's only going to get one more chance for a qualifying lap here, and that's not the way you want to do it, James. You want to be as far as ahead of the rest of the competition as possible if you want to fight for those points and you want to upset victory. Sonic Gonzalez is not here, is he? We have 12 drivers, don't we? Why does it say he's left the session unless he's supposed to be in a different one? What's going on here? Why do we only have... Oh, we have a bunch of disconnections. Danny Shields has gone. Zolovita has gone as well. So unfortunately we've had a string of disconnections. I can't go to 9th position. Yes, I can. There's Vishal 34. I wonder what the stewards are going to decide about this, because that was partway through the qualifying session. Now, we haven't officially put a lap time in. Again, this is down to the stewards now to decide what to do, because we've lost a significant amount of drivers. We have 9, so we've lost 3 drivers. We've lost, 4. We've lost 10, 11, 12. No, 3 drivers. Yeah, that's quick math, isn't it? 12 drivers, unfortunately, leaving. We lost Sonic Gonzalez. We lost Danny Shields. Who else did we lose? We'll have to wait and see. Now, Dominic's telling me he sees 10. I only see 9 on my timing screen here. I don't see a 10th driver anywhere. So either I have a problem on my side, or there's something strange going on here. Interesting. Okay, so the stewards are saying that they have all the drivers in the session, but I'm quite sure that I saw 3 drivers unfortunately leave. Let's see how this works here, but then that means that I have a problem. I may not be able to see a few drivers, but let's get back to that later, because Johnny Cafe Racer has done the fastest lap of the race so far. He's done a 2:01.651 in this qualifying session. Interesting. So why can I not swap between 12 drivers? Okay, yeah, let me do that. Let me exit and come back then. This is bizarre. All I wanted to do was race. That's it. I just wanted to try Mount Panorama myself. If I leave this now and I don't come back in, Vishnu, you're going to pay for this. So apologies that I seem to have a connection issue of my own at the moment. So show any rooms with friends, update list, semi-final. No, not semi-final 2. We're in semi-final 1, aren't we? Yes. Can I re-enter? Please tell me I can. Oh yes, I can. Okay, let's see. Let's see if this corrects the issue. But I had several disconnections show up on my screen. Maybe it was me who disconnected instead. This is like the Twilight Zone. Because if other people are seeing everyone else in the field and I'm not, then seriously, there's something wrong on my end, isn't there? No, there's no mention of anybody missing. So yes, it was just me. That had the issue. Oh wow, I got penalised for some reason. Okay. Right, do we have all 12 competitors in? Let's move the controller and let's put the screen back up. Yes, we do. Do we have 12? Yes, we do. Okay, so that was just mine. Apologies that. Technical difficulties still pending on my side. First it was the keyboard that decided to just not work. Now it was me not being able to see people, and I got black flagged for very valid reasons. I guess I have to go see the stewards after this race is concluded and get my slap on the wrist and see what penalty I receive for this. But let's go and see who is on pole position for the time being, and let's see what lap times they have put in, because Johnny Cafe Racer, who I can't see their lap time for some reason, he's 0.4 of a second faster than the rest of the field. In turn, actually no, Romano Labori's just gone quickest of all, and he's done a 2:0. Well, it just flashed up and then disappeared very fast. Let's see if I can go with Romano Labori and see what his time was there. No, can't see his time for some reason, so this is a very interesting qualifying session for me. Everything seems to be going wrong now. At least it's not going wrong in the final, so that's a good thing. So Romano Labori is on provisional pole for the time being with a 2:4.82. He's now officially the fastest man of the race weekend, and he's gone, what is that, just less than a tenth of a second slower than, faster actually than Zuhair did. And Dominic so kindly has given me, he's sent me who the fastest lap times are. So it's a 2:0, it's a 2 flat 4.82 for Romaldo, a 2 flat 9.63 for Johnny. I presume Zach Scholar would be in the 2:01s, judging by that. Yes, he would be, because he's 4/10 of a second behind Johnny at the moment. So, although he is on a flying lap at the moment. So let's see if he can improve. Can he dip into the 2-minute flats? Let's see if he can do it. Into the left-hander we go now for the final time for Zach. Can he improve his lap time? A bit squirrely there through the final corner. Loose at the rear end of the car, and unfortunately does not improve. Can Romano Labori improve though? Because of course he is still on a flying lap as well, as Danny Shields is a 2:01.756. Does he improve? No, he doesn't. So Nick Gonzalez is 5th. Jameson Dell's at a 2:02. Jameson Dell's not having a good qualifying session here. Johnny's just done another 2 flat 9, but does not take the lead away, or the pole position away from this man right here, Romano Labori, who's now through the final corner. Can he improve when he comes across the line? Will he do a faster lap? No, he does not improve on the final lap. And what is going on now? I've lost everything. No, I haven't, because we started the race. Wow, that was fast. It didn't show us at all who qualified where. So we're straight into the race with Romano Labori and
Johnny Crispin alongside for company. Zach Scholar is just behind on the second row of the grid in third position, with Danny Shields alongside for company in the fourth position, with Sonic Gonzalez in fifth. Patrick Batista is sixth, rounding out row number 3. James Swindells and Zola Vita round out the fourth row of the grid, with Mohammed Jalan and Vishal 34 rounding out the fifth row of the grid in 9th and 10th respectively. And at the back of the field we have Rabdan Racing or Salam Al-Kepi with Anthony Chinook alongside for company. The two Sri Lankans in this session are about to get underway with Sri Lankan on pole here for the second time this weekend. Here we go, we're racing for the first time in our semi-finals. Down towards turn 1 we go. Who gets through cleanly? Is anyone go off track? Not quite. Very tight there for Romano Labori, followed by Johnny Crispin as they work their way up the mountain now, or up towards the base of the mountain for the first time in our semi-finals. As we said, 8 laps of racing here, so we're extending it by 2 laps. And let's see how this pans out here. The good news is that I can see everyone on track. Will it give me timing? I hope it'll give me sector times at some point and tell me who's fast. It looks like we've got a battle brewing already for third position. That's Sonic Gonzalez, is it? With, I know it's Danny Shields with Zach Scholar who are battling. Sonic Gonzalez is in close proximity though in third position. There he is, in fifth position, excuse me. As he's just behind, he's about a car length separate the two of them. That it will be Danny and Sunit as they race their way up the mountain now here for the first time. We've got a battle also brewing a bit further back here for 6th position. This is the all-important position as well. This is the cutting block right here for Patrick Di Battista and James Swindells. I can imagine this battle is going to brew on for quite some time as Di Battista hits the wall. That gives Swindells a chance to move up. Oh, we've got a spin as well. Who is that that's spinning around? It was 5th position. Oh, it's Danny Shields who was spinning around there, so he must have hit the wall, and now he's down into 7th position. I can imagine now the stewards will be having a look at that, because we just saw that in the distance and that looked like he was spinning around just before that chaotic corner, as he's now on the back of Patrick Di Battista. As James Swindells now goes into 5th position. Now Danny Shields was battling with, it was Zach, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Zach that he was battling with for 4th position, well 3rd and 4th position, shall we say, as he's all at the back of Patrick Di Battista. Looks like he's actually pushing Patrick through the right-hander there, as he's now into the penultimate corner. Now what can he do? The red mist has certainly descended on that visor, and he's now coming under pressure from Zola Vita as well, so he's got to be careful here. The battle for 6th position is on, and as we said, that's the most important position in this race, because that of course is the final position that will take you into our finale here this weekend. And of course, that's where you score the points. That's where you can score 25 points for a win, 18 for second, and so on. As the battle for 6th brews on here, we now have, well, there's 2 battling for 6th. We've got a battle brewing as well for 8th. That is Zola Vita and Mohammed Jalan. Looks like Mohammed Jalan is getting the better of him. He's going to try around the outside, going through into the next corner. Let's keep an eye on that. Let's go to 8th position right now. There he is. That is, as you said, Mohammed Jalan and Zola Vita, with Zola Vita retaking the position back, with Jalan having to concede that. He just taps the wall ever so slightly there. That will lose him a little bit of ground and some time as well. This will allow Zola Vita to escape up the road as Jalan is loose through the corner. Almost loses the back end. Let's go back up with the race leader, the Romano Labori, who is ahead of Johnny Crispin. There he is in 2nd position, and he's circling about 2 seconds behind at the moment. Into the right-hander goes down the hill. Let's have a look what Zach Scholar is, because now he's all by his lonesome. As we saw on the previous lap, him and Danny Shields having a slight issue, with Danny Shields being rotated round, facing the wrong direction. As we're into the left-hander now, onto the fastest part of the track here. James Swindells in 4th position at the moment. He's being pursued though by Sonic Gonzalez, and there is the gap between the two of them. As Sonic Gonzalez has picked up the toe, but James Swindells has blocked the corner. He's blocked that all-important inside line. The two are going to have to follow their way through the corner. But here he comes again. He's got the inside line, and he gets the braking done right. And he takes the manoeuvre, he takes the position away. And that's Sunit now in 4th place. He wants another shot at the final there. Got robbed in the last one. Really suffered in the finale for round 2. And James Swindells really muscling his way through. If I'm not mistaken, actually at Spa, these two did have a coming together. It was either Spa or the Nürburgring where these two came together, and there was an issue between the two of them, with I think it was Sunit who got the worst of it because he tumbled way down the order. Looks like is the rivalry brewing up again here between the two of them. So yes, indeed, an incident between Dan the Man and Patrick Di Battista is under investigation. Oh, actually, it's Patrick Di Battista, so it wasn't Zach Scholar. So that means Patrick Di Battista was much closer than we initially thought. So that means Patrick also lost ground as Sunit Gonzalez muscles his way through into 4th position. And takes that place away. Now let's go down to 6th place, where we have Patrick Di Battista, who's still under pressure from Danny Shields, who's now out of the cutoff zone. Unfortunately, may not be able to make it to our final here. And in hot pursuit from Zolo Vita and Mohamed Jalan as well. He hasn't been able to shake these two yet. As you see, we say that Patrick Di Battista hasn't been able to shake these three as Zolo Vita really closes in at the top of the mountain there on Danny Shields. You see just how fast it is up there. The camera just constantly switches angles. Let's go back up with the race leader though. Romano Labori hasn't put a foot wrong yet. He's 2.1 seconds up the road from Johnny Crispin, who leads. Who's in 2nd position now. Sorry, he was 2nd position at the lights, and he stayed in 2nd position for the time being, but it hasn't been able to catch this man here, Romano Labori. He's having a phenomenal weekend, is Romano Labori. I just realised as well that we'll have 2 of our championship contenders in the same semi-final. Both Harry Hannum and Hazim Zaki will both be in semi-final number 2 because we have neither of them here. And it's going to be a very interesting final as Danny Shields and I think that's Mohamed Jalan that are battling. They're constantly changing position as Patrick Di Battista has managed to take 5th away, and the battle is really blurring on here for 8th place at the moment between these two drivers here. And it looks like Danny Shields has made a mistake because he was 7th, wasn't he? Yes, he was. And Mohamed Jalan was 8th, and now these two are battling here for what is 8th position. So yeah, unfortunately, it's gone the wrong way. And Sunit Gonzalez has lost out again. Who is he battling with? Was it Patrick Di Battista? Yes, it was. And here comes Zolo Vita as well. He wants to be in the finale, but not if he's punted into the wall like that, though. Will he be in the finale? And that was quite a muscular maneuver there from Sunit Gonzalez. It looked very aggressive from his side, but that puts now Sunit Gonzalez back into the top 6 and puts Zolo Vita back out of the top 6. This is certainly heating up here, the battle for 5th race on. Here goes Sunit Gonzalez, dives to the inside, and Patrick Di Battista runs wide and hits the wall going through. And is it over for him as Zolo Vita is off line as well as Patrick Di Battista comes back on track at 8th position? I have a feeling the stewards are going to have a look at that as well. Someone's picked up a penalty. That's Zolo Vita. Yes, it is. Oh, 2.5 seconds. That is a monstrous penalty to be applied here at Mount Panorama, and I have a feeling it's all over for Zolo Vita. He's in 6th position. He's in that important place, but with 2.3 seconds looming over his head, that's not going to fly, is it? He's going to have to slow down somewhere, and he's going to slow down rapidly here as Danny Shields. He'll see that penalty, and he knows that 6th position is his, but he takes it anyway. He's up on the inside, and of course Zolo Vita got that because of course he essentially straight lined the chicane there, didn't he? I don't know if it's for avoiding a collision, but it didn't look like it was because that was the corner after Patrick Di Battista went off, as again he really leans on Danny Shields. So this has been a very contact heavy race here this weekend. This is only the 4th race of the day as well. Of the 6 races we'll have, 3 quarterfinals, 2 semi-finals and a finale, as well as Zolo Vita there slowing down in order to shake that penalty, and that's allowing Dan the Man, or Danny Shields, to escape up the road. Let's go back up with race leader Romano Labori, who's having quite a, let's say, uneventful race of his own. He's keeping it very clean and calm up there. It's more of a serene drive around the mountainsides here at Mount Panorama for Romano Labori, keeping his nose nice and clean, as is the man behind him. Johnny Cafe Racer, again a nice clean run for him as well. He's kept it off the wall in most places, although he has lost a bit of time to our race leader. He's now down by 3 seconds. And then Zach Scholar who I still believe may have had something to do with an incident that we saw earlier on with him and Danny Shields, because it said it's Patrick Di Battista that's under investigation, although I have a feeling it may have been the other way round. Now, let's go down to 4th position with James Swindells. He's been muscling it with Sunic Gonzalez, and looks like he's been able to gap Sunic as well by 5 seconds to the good, because here he is, all the way back in 5th position and under pressure soon enough from Danny Shields, who we saw unfortunately drop out of the top 6, tumble his way down, and now has worked his way back into the top 6, although of course that would be due to this man's penalty right here of Zolo Vita, who is now he's got 1.2 seconds of a penalty looming over his head. He needs to shake that fast, and he needs to get a move on as well if he wants to be in our final. Patrick Di Battista, he was also on the move as well. He was outside the top 6 at the beginning, and then he made his way into the top 6, and then unfortunately, just on the previous lap, just ran wide. I don't know if he was muscled off or if he just got it a little bit too wrong, maybe a bit too hot through the corner, and we saw him off in the gravel trap and almost hit the wall. He did a great job to keep it off the wall and stay at least in the top 10, so he still has an outside chance to be in our finale, depending on what the stewards decide later on, as he's going to go on the inside of Zolo Vita to try and take that position away in his BMW M6, but doesn't quite do it. Mohamed Jalan in 9th position. He's been in the thick of things a number of times. He's been definitely caught up in some battles of his own, now dropping back to 9th place. We'd like to see him in the final. I think he'd like to see himself as well in our final later on. And then we have Anthony Chinook, who's been quite a ways back from all these battles that have been taking place all over the place, as has Vishal 34, who comes across the line in 11th position at the moment, starting lap number 6 in his BMW M6 as well. Oh, loose there through the final corner. I think it was a bit too early on the accelerator there, just didn't quite get it. The timing right there, not stuck. He didn't stick it too early. Of course, he stuck it too early, didn't stick it too late, or get the apex when he wanted it, and just lost the car. Luckily, he kept it off the wall, kept it relatively clean as well. And then we have Salam Al-Ketbi, who's just come across the line. I think it's been a dismal race for him so far in the semi-final. The good news is that we've seen him again in a semi-final, which is great to see, but unfortunately this is going to be a semi-final to forget, as he is also a little bit too hot through the first corner and hits the wall on the right hand side. Let's go back up with the race leader Romano Labori, who's actually fast approaching the back markers down there in 12th position. He's now 5 seconds up the road from Johnny Crispum. See a little squirrely there through the final corner. It's unfortunate, Gaith, that you're not here. We certainly do miss you on track. It would have been great to have you. Map Panorama is an epic track. I was very excited when they announced that Map Panorama would serve as our grand finale, and it's great to see that we are racing here. And it's certainly put on a great show. The third quarterfinal, was fantastic. This race so far has been very interesting, and it was interesting before the halfway point as well. And I think those battles are still brewing, because I see now Danny Shields is 5th, so he's found a way past Sonic Gonzalez, who's now dropped to 6th position. There he is, yeah, he's just ahead of Zolo Vita. Now Zolo Vita looks to be catching up as well, although he still has that penalty on his head. He is catching. He's got 9/10 of a second over on that penalty ahead of Patrick Di Battista, so it'll drop him to 8th position, but I think he wants to be in the top 6, as Sonic Gonzalez is a little bit more conserved at this point, certainly with his tyres and all. Taking it slightly easier here, not as aggressive as we've seen him in previous trips up the mountain. And this is where Patrick Di Battista got it all wrong a few laps ago. Let's go back with race leader Romano Labori, who continues to lead now almost by 6 seconds. As I said, he's kept his nose clean, he's kept it off the wall as well. No scuffs anywhere on the car. It's been a great race here for the Sri Lankan as he works his way now into the penultimate corners here. Brakes glow red hot here at Mount Panorama. I just realised we're on the penultimate lap as a race as well. We have just one more lap to go after this corner here. He's through the left-hander for the penultimate time. And then across the line, here we go. Final lap now for Romano Labori. See where Johnny Crispin is. Here he is across the line as well. He starts the final lap, and here he is as well to shake up the championship, because of course both himself and Romano Labore have been very fast here this weekend. Romano Labore still the fastest man out there with a 2 minute, was it two minute flat 4? I think he did in qualifying. It was a 2 minute. It was a 2 minute 5 for Zaher during the previous race that he did. And I know the quickest qualifying time previously before that was a 2 minute flat 7 for Zaher. Yes, it was Zaher, wasn't it? Yes, who did the fastest qualifying lap previously. Be interesting to see now what Yassi Gaz and Harry Hannam, because of course Hazem Zaki also actually dipped into the 2 minute flats as well. I think out of him and Harry Hannam, Hazem is the quickest of the two. As let's continue to stay on board with Romano Labore and keep a close eye on what's going on the left, because I see now Patrick Di Battista is 7th. What's happened to Zolo Vito? Has he dropped down to 9th? Yes, he has. So he's lost out 2 positions to both Patrick Di Battista and Mohamed Jalan. Although good news. Actually, no, it's not good news for either of them, because they're still not in 6th position, are they? They're not in the top 6. They're in 7th and 8th, respectively. As Romano Labore now down towards the right-hander here. Is he going to let off on the gas? I don't think he will. He's heavy on the brakes, though. Into the left-hander. Now into the penultimate corner. And there'll be one more left-hander to go before he's claimed yet another victory in round 3. The yellow flag is out. That means someone has spun off somewhere. Yes, it is. It looks like there's a slow-moving car in the final corner. I think that's Salam Al-Ketbi. And across the line comes Romano Labore, who takes the victory in our first semi-final. Johnny Crispin will take 2nd, and he'll be followed by Zach Scholar. Jameson Dells will take 4th. Danny Shields looks like he'll take 5th, so great recovery there from Danny Shields. We'll see him in the final later on today. And the last of our finalists from our semi-final will be Sonic Gonzalez, who's across the line, fighting the second ahead of Patrick Di Battista. The good news is that we'll see him in our final. And that wraps up our first of the semi-finals here in the 2021 season. We now move on to the second of our semi-finals. So, of course, that means we have to swap lobbies again and join another one. And this time, I won't show you around that panorama because it caused far too many problems and I received a black flag. I've yet to receive my penalty, so I'm still waiting to see what happens. But I will not be showing you a lap around Matt Panorama this time because it was too much of a headache and it caused too much problems and started showing us that people weren't in the race when they actually were in the race. And yeah, it's just very arduous now, wasn't it? So let's join the second semi-final here. Looks like all the drivers should be here bar the officials. So it looks like we can get started pretty fast here for the second semi-final, our 5th race of the day, of the 3rd round of the 2021 EMSO E-Motorsports UAE National Championship. And a huge shout out, of course, to Dubai Autodrome and Dragon Racing, who are giving our top 3 some awesome prizes. Of my top 3, I mean our top 3 in the championship. That means the ones who finished in 1st, 2nd and 3rd overall. All 3 of them will get a experience on track at the Dubai Autodrome, courtesy of the Dubai Autodrome. But our winner will get the coolest prize of all. I'm super jelly of it. They will be getting a track day experience behind the wheel of a Mini Cooper JCW touring car from Dragon Racing. Some of the best in the business. We're supplying our championship winner at the end of today that experience, and that is an incredible experience nonetheless. I'm very jealous of it completely. So, as we're now in our semi-final, our second semi-final, let's quickly go back to see our championship standings at the moment. As we said, there are only 3 drivers in contention for the championship, with 25 points on offer. Unfortunately, those are the only 3 that can score enough points potentially to be champion. So that is Aiko Segret, who unfortunately is not here, Harry Hannam, who is here and is in this semi-final, and Hazem Zaki, who is also in this semi-final. So this is going to be very interesting, because if one of the 2 don't make it in, it's going to be up to the other one to outscore the other one. Sounds really complicated because it is, because there's a lot of math involved with this one. Because, of course, 25 points on offer for a win, 18 points for second. Now, if either of the drivers finish second, ATCUAE wins the championship. Even though he's not here, even though he'll be scoring a big fat 0, he will still be crowned champion because, of course, he has a 20-point gap between himself and Harry Hannum, and he has a 22-point gap between himself and Hazem Zaki. So 25 points on offer. None of these two, Harry or Hazem, if either of those two do not finish in the lead of the final, they're not out in front when the checkered flag waves, they do not win. If Harry Hannum finishes first, and well, yeah, he has to finish first no matter what. I don't know where I'm going with the and bit, is it? Harry has to finish in the lead. He has to be at the front of the field when the checkered flag waves in order to be crowned a champion. Hazem will also need to finish first, but with Harry, he can he can finish. I have a feeling if he finishes 9th, he will be. No, he wouldn't be. If Hazem wins, but Harry comes 9th, then the championship will go to Harry because then they'll be tied on points. I think, depending on... No, then Hazem will actually, because he has more wins, doesn't he? This is a lot of math to deal with. Now, my brain is currently exploding. You can definitely see that and hear that as well, that my brain is currently self-destructing. So Hazem and Harry both have to win no matter what. They cannot finish worse than first. They have to win no matter what. If Hazem wins and Harry comes second, yes, he will come second in the championship overall. And Hazem will win by 2 points. Yes, that's correct. And Harry will be in second by, I think, 3 points over ATCUAE. So that will give up. Yes, that works out. Look, all we know is that either Harry needs to win or Hazem needs to win to be crowned champion. If either of the two don't win, ATCUAE is the champion, even though he isn't here this weekend. That's it. That's how it works. So we're basically going down to the wire here in our finale. It would be great if we had more drivers in the championship hunt, but unfortunately, Romano Labori is 27 points out. So unfortunately, not enough points on offer. James Swindells is 23 points out of contention, with 22 points to his name. So unfortunately, he is also not in contention. So this final for the majority of the field is basically just bragging rights of who will be on the top side of the podium and who can get the final win in the championship, isn't it? Yes, that would be the case. So I'm just going to take a quick break because I need some water. I've got my water. It has not gone on an adventure. See what time we're supposed to start this semi-final here. We are scheduled to start at 6:10, so we should be on track actually to start the race. Let's see now. Okay, we're waiting for one driver, waiting for Maxitude to join the lobby. As I said, we're 2 minutes behind. 2 minutes before we are scheduled to start of the race. So let's see. Let's see. Do we start on time? I hope we do. Qualify start not yet, so we are still. Let's see. I see Ovich09 fan club is still in the chat. Unfortunately, Jovic did not make it into our semi-finals. So unfortunately, I think he disconnected before his race was scheduled to start in the quarterfinals. So unfortunately, Jovic is not here. Although it's great to see that there's still support for drivers, even though they're not racing. It's still great to see that their fans are still here. Certainly right, Sunit. There are 3 piston pilots in the semi. Let's see how this goes for them. So it's Verriard and Vafi. Full support here from Sunit, who did rather well to keep himself in the top 6 in the first of the semi-finals. Although it was, it wasn't, let's say, the friendliest race, shall we say. I think there's a lot of things that the stewards are looking at. We've now just elapsed 10 past 6, so I think we're still waiting for a driver to join. So waiting, I think, for Maxitude. Are we waiting for Maxitude to join? Let's have a look who we have. Do we have Maxitude in the lobby? No, we don't. So does that mean I thought we'd get underway at least for the race? I don't think we will. We will wait a little bit longer for Maxitude to join the lobby. Maxitude, if you're listening to the live stream, if you can join the lobby as soon as you can, it would be great so we can get this semi-final underway and then we can crown a champion today. It'd be very interesting to see who will walk away with it. As we said, championship leader is not here, but we have 2 other drivers who are in contention for said championship. Still currently practicing, not qualifying just yet here at Mount Panorama. So this is the 3rd and final round of the championship, the 2021 EMSO E-Motorsports UAE National Championship here for 2021. There will be 1 bonus round that will take place on the 6th of August, and of course the 2 of the drivers from that will go on to the MENA Digital Cup. I have to just double check the exact details of the event, but I know that it takes place at the beginning of August, and yes, we'll take the 12 best Emiratis from this championship to race in that, and then of course they will be competing for 2 tickets for the MENA Digital Cup. So that is great to see that there is an extra round, so we get even more racing this season. But of course, it won't be fully fledged like this one here. There won't be any more points for the likes of Zach Scott, Zuhair here, or Harry Hannum, or Patrick Cannon, Jack Carlos, Mohamed Zubair, Vafi Khan, and Iyad Izab. It will be for another handful of drivers instead that will get the option. We'll have. Yeah, we could say the option to race in the MENA Digital Cup if you win those all-important 2 tickets to enter the MENA Digital Cup here. As we're waiting, I think, for 1 driver. I think still we're waiting for Maxitude, I think, to enter the fray. Although there's been no note that says that we'll start the race without him. Usually we get a notification saying that we will start before, unless there's been some change. No, because there's Maxitude there in semi-final number 2. His name is certainly there, but he's not in. I think, well, he was in the room and then he left it pretty much immediately. So I think we may have a problem. Let's see. Yes, it looks like he has a problem connecting to the lobby. So we will patiently wait for Maxitude to enter. So he's entered the room, and let's see if he'll enter the race immediately. Here we go. Patiently waiting here for the final driver to join the session. See the Hannum family back in the chat. Supporting young Harry Hannum here, who as Lyle rightfully said, did a cheeky bit of sightseeing at Spa. Run off into the gravel runoff area as well. Would have scored more points as well. Would have made it more. It would have made it harder actually for Hazem to actually take the championship lead. Actually, if he didn't go sightseeing, that's for sure. Just trying to think now, if Hazem wins, if he scores those 25 points, no, because the gap is 2 points between them, and there is no gap of 2 points between our race win and second position. It's 25 points for a win and 18 for second. And now would that be, that's a 7-point gap, isn't it? Yeah, so either or, if either of the two win the final, they will be crowned champion. It looks like I got my timings wrong actually. It says on the sheet here that 6:10. Oh, 6:15, sorry, my apologies actually. I thought it was 6:10 was the race start. It's actually 6:15, so actually we're running according to schedule, which is great. So I do apologise for that. I thought that we were behind schedule. We're just waiting for one driver to enter the session, and I think we should be able to get going soon. Have we got all 12 drivers? Yes, we do. So I wonder why we haven't started the session yet. Unless the stewards are looking at something from semi-final number 1, but I don't know what that would have to do with semi-final number 2. Ah, there we go. We're waiting for the stewards. We're waiting for Dominic to join the session. So still waiting for, I think there's something going on with the first semi-final, so we're just waiting on the stewards to let us know what's going on. Waiting for the stewards here, so apologies for the delay. I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay, there we go. We've got a penalty being dished out. Oh, do we have a change? Yes, we do. We have a change for the final. So originally Patrick Di Battista was not in the final. It is now Patrick Di Battista in 6th position. So he will be in the final, and unfortunately Danny Shields receives a 5-second penalty for an incident with Patrick Di Battista on the second lap, as well as blocking Mohammed Jalan on lap 4 as well after turn 1. He has been demoted out of the top 6 and will not be taking part. So the qualifier is underway now for our second of the semi-final, so apologies for the time delay. It was just the stewards were sorting out some instances that happened in the first race, first of our semi-finals. So now we are on our out lap. And we're about to get underway. We're underway actually currently at the moment for our race, or our qualifying session here for the second of our semi-finals, where we'll choose, well, again, I keep saying the word choose, we won't choose them, they will choose themselves, because it depends on where they finish, will be where they will, if they will be in our final or not. Currently now on our outlap. Here at Mount Panorama for our second of the semi-finals. And as you said, 12 drivers will enter, but only 6 will go on to the final, and they will join the other 6 from semi-final number 1, where they will battle it out for the points, and our finishers between 1st and 10th will get points. Those who finish in the 11th and 12th will not receive any points, and this is going to be interesting, this one, because we have 2 of our championship contenders in the same semi-final who were separated by just 2 points, but they, more importantly, they both need to win the final if they want to win the championship. They're both sitting in 2nd and 3rd, and they are Harry Hannam, who currently sits in 4th position at the moment. He hasn't put a lap time in, and Hazim Zaki, who I just missed, and I got Jack Carlson said, this man right here, Hazim Zaki, who's one of our youngest drivers actually in the field, along with Harry Hannam as well. And it's great to see that we have such a wide age of drivers in the field as well, ranging from as young as 13 we've had all the way up to the tender young age of 40 plus, which has been absolutely fantastic. So not only just a mix of nationalities in the series, we've also had a mix of ages too. We've had drivers from around the world as well. We've also had female drivers compete this year as well, although we didn't get to see much of Dana. It's great to have a female driver participating in this year's championship as well, as well, we're about to get our first qualifying times in. And I expect this man here to be quite fast. This is Zaher, the young Malaysian driver who had disconnection issues in round 2, which unfortunately we didn't see him in the semi-final, because I think he could have shooken up the he could have shaped. He could have mixed the championship up, that's for sure, if unfortunately he didn't have his disconnection issues, as he goes 2 flat 4. I think that's the fastest. Yes, it would be, because what did Ronaldo Labora do? Did he do it? No, he did a 2.4 as well. He did 2 minute flat with 0.4 of a second. I think he can go faster. I think we will see Zaher go faster now. But Zaher, this time I don't think he should be going into the pit lane like he did last time. I think he should stay out, because what he did last time is he did 2 flying laps. He went quickest of all, but then immediately when he went into the pit lane, Romano Labori went even quicker, and he took that all-important pole position away, and that win as well, because of course we would have seen Zaher in a different semi-final as well, so it could have played a lot differently too. But let's see how this pans out for Zaher. Hazim Zaki is in 2nd position, so he's ahead of Harry Hannam. Where is Hannam? Has he put a lap in yet? Yes, he has. He's in a 2:05.076. That's quite uncharacteristic for him, because that's quite slow. He's down into 7th position. But it looks like he's got a bit of clean air in front of him, so he could be on a flyer here if he doesn't go into the grass that much like he just did. Let's see. Oh, he's very fast through there. Maybe a bit too fast there. Clipped the curb a little bit loose through the corner there. But he's certainly really pushing his BMW M6 as Harry Hannam. Penalty for Hazim Zaki on that one. So unfortunately, he's just lost out on that fastest flying lap. So he's going to have to try again. He should have enough time. Yes, he does. To try and attempt another fastest lap. See if he can be on pole position. At the moment, it is Zaher, who's 7th of a second faster compared to Yassi Gaz. And we know Hazem can do a 2-minute flat, because we saw him do it. I think he was the first driver actually to dip into the 2 minutes, because he did a 2-minute flat 9 in his qualifying session, put his car on pole, as Zuhair goes quickest of all and quickest of the weekend so far with a 2-minute flat 3. And I see he's taken his my advice, or he's learned from his previous mistake in his previous qualifying session. He's continuing it on. Harry Hannam drops his time back to 2 minutes and 2 seconds when he's gone into the pit lane. Oh, sorry, that's Zuhair that's gone into the pit lane, so never mind, he hasn't done it. I wonder why he's gone into the pit lane again, because he did this last time and he got beaten to pole by Romaldo Labori. And I've just noticed that there is a there is a bit of a discussion. Oh, never mind. It looks like there may possibly be some controversy with the penalty that was being dished out. Let's see what Hazem can do. Can he beat Zuhair? Oh, as Vafikan is into the wall and he's picked up a penalty, so unfortunately no improvement hit for him on this lap. We'll keep a close eye on Hazem. It doesn't look like it's going Harry Hannam's way at all here in this qualifying session. Currently sitting in 6th position. Very unusual as well. Harry Hannam has always been at the forefront of all qualifying sessions he's been in. Top 6 is okay as long as he stays in that position at the line. He starts the race, and here comes Hazem Zaki, and he is on a flying lap here. He's significantly faster than his personal best so far. Let's see what he can do. This, of course, will be the last time. Is he going to catch Harry Hannam in the wrong place? No, because, of course, Harry Hannam is also on a flyer as well. As he's into the left-hander, what can these two drivers do? Can they go to the top of the timesheets? Harry Hannam unfortunately doesn't improve, or does he? Yes, he does. Where did Harry Hannam go? He goes 4th fastest, and Yassi Gaz does a 2-minute 4. He was on par with Zuhair, was he? He was let the thousandths of a second separate Zuhair and Yassi Gaz. Harry Hannam, though, has been dropped to 5th place. And that's not ideal, because it's proven quite difficult to pass here, and if you get into any argy-bargy and you hit a wall, you can tumble way down the order from what we've seen. Any slight mistake on the top of the mountain, and unfortunately it could be all over for Harry in this race here, and he needs to finish in the top 6 if he wants to try and vie for this championship. This is going to be a key race here. So we have one driver on a flying lap somewhere. Who's going fast here? Oh, there we go. Chugu's going as fast as humanly possible, and the session is over. So we're about to start the second of our semi-finals here. As I said, this is going to be a very interesting one. I think, did someone just get booted out of the session? Did I just see, or is that my... no, Maxitude is there. Oh, we do. We're missing 2 drivers. Who are we missing? We should have had 12 drivers. We're missing 2, unfortunately. I think we cannot restart the race unless there is a mass disconnection. But I think we'll get the race started. Indeed we will. So, Zuhair there will start from pole position. Hazem Zaki 2nd. Jack Carlos 3rd. Patrick Cannon 4th. Harry Hannam 5th, Mohamed Zubair 6th. We're about to go green flag racing here. Indeed we are, for the second time in our semi-finals. Here we go. One more race to go before the final, and 6 more drivers to see into our final. Who will the top 6 be? Well, we're going to have to wait 8 laps to figure that out. And, well, looking at what we had in the previous race, this is going to be an epic race. Wow, that's a very close gap. Thanks for the quick maths there, IX Ghosts. There's 86 milliseconds between our top 2, and it looks like Hazem Zaki, well, he's going for it. He's going for the win no matter what. He wants to ensure he's going to be in the final, and he's trying to. catch the back of Zuhair as we race our way up the mountain here for the first time in our semi-final number 2. It is great to see the competition this level pegged. It is great stuff that we have here in the championship, and it's been like this throughout as well. We've seen some incredible battles, we've seen some incredible qualifying times as well. The amount of talent in this field is absolutely phenomenal here in this championship. It's a shame that we're only doing 3 rounds. It'd be great if we had more, because I think it could really shake up the championship here in the EMSO E-Motorsports UAE National Championship for 2021. So you said this is the final round. Of course, we'll be crowning a champion later on today. We were supposed to start the grand finale, and I think it's 7 o'clock. However, we may not start it at exactly that time. We may start it later. Due to possible time constraints. But let's see. So we've got a battle brewing for the lead of the race. Looks like Hazem Zaki now out in front, so I just missed that. As Yassi Gaz now leads, and he is throwing it out there. He is going all in here with Zuhair. Zuhair has nothing to lose. He's just vying for wins, that's it, and taking points away from the race leaders. But it is Hazem Zaki and Harry Hannum that have all to play for. Got Malik Brewing as well for 3rd position. That's Jack Carlos and Patrick Cannon. Patrick Cannon new to the championship this weekend and certainly putting on a fantastic show here, is he? 4th position we have, who's that? That's Jack Carlos, isn't it? Yes, and Harry Hannum's all over the back of him trying to pick up the toe and trying to benefit from this into 4th position. Can he get it? Jack Carlos is defending like mad, but around the outside goes Harry Hannum, and here comes, is that Mohammed Zubair? Yes, it is. He wants to be higher up this order, and wow, there's quite a significant gap between 6th and 7th. What's happened to Vafi Khan? Vafi Khan quite a ways away from this battle, because this is very intense here for that all-important 6th spot. Now, the good news is that all these drivers here, all 4 of them, are in that position. They're all in the top 6, including Harry Hannum, although they're a ways away from Zuhair and who's out in front again? Oh, it's Hazem Zaki, isn't it? That's out in front, the Egyptian driver who leads. Yassi Gaz. Do certainly shout out to EMSO for organising this championship again. It is a shame that we're only running 3 rounds. It'd be great to have more, because as I said, with Aiko not being here, and with Harry Hannum and Yassi Gaz both being, or Hazem Zaki both being in this race together, we could have really shaken up the championship going into round 4. We could have had an even closer battle between the 2 of them. Maybe some other drivers as well could have been in the mix too. But it's a 3-round championship. It's done and dusted, and we have a bonus round coming up on the 6th of August for 12 Emirati drivers, with 2 of them going on to be in the Digital MENA Cup later on in the year, which is a fantastic prize and a fantastic way to represent the United Arab Emirates as well. It was a great move as well from Harry Hannum, wasn't it, to get into 4th place, battling with the likes of Jack Carlos and Mohammed Zubair. Just in front is Patrick Cannon. Let's go with the race leader, Yassi Gaz, or Hazem Zaki, who did a great move that we missed on Zuhair going down towards the penultimate corner. Managed to get on the inside and took the position away. And then down towards, or up the corner, up the mountain we go. Andre, I fully support the idea of creating a league. It would be fantastic to have a league here for the EMSO E-Motorsports UAE National Championship. Make it a staple part of the summer season. It's too hot to play outside, but it's cool to play inside, although I could imagine it's quite, there's some sweaty palms throughout the field. As Yassi Gaz, or Hazem Zaki, continues to lead here by 1.2 seconds. It's been a bit calmer this race, hasn't it? Not as intense as, say, the other race. I say that, there's Jack Carlos under pressure from Mohammed Zubair just in the background there behind these 2. It looked like Mohammed Zubair was trying to go around the outside, but Jack Carlos was just in the right place at the right time and shut the door. Going back up to 3rd position, it's Patrick Cannon defending from Harry Hannum. Looks like Harry Hannum struggling ever so slightly here, at the tap of the wall there. Unusual to see him qualify outside of the top 2 in all of his qualifying races here, but he's sticking with it. He's being consistent as well, and of course, him being fourth place at the moment does give him a shot at the final as well. Let's have a look at what times the leaders are doing. Romaldo, Yassi Gaz is doing a 2:01.321, and Zaher is doing a 2:02.722 last time round, and a little bit too hot through that final corner. Let's see how Yas has improved. Now he's done a 2:04. He's done a 2 minute 4. That's a mighty quick lap time there from Hazim. That's almost qualifying time. Actually, I think that is his qualifying time. I think it was Zaher who had the fastest. He did 0.3 of a second, didn't he? He was, as IX Ghost said, the gap during qualifying was just 68 milliseconds between the two of them, with Zaher doing a 2 minute flat 3 and Hazim doing a 2 minute flat 4, which was mighty impressive. Let's go back through the field with it looks like Harry Hannam's managed to take third away now, hasn't he, from Patrick Cannon. Must have done that through sector 3, and now Harry Hannam on a mission to see if he can latch on the back of second place, although it's going to be quite tough because first and second are about a corner or so ahead. And Patrick Cannon's not going to let him escape that easily now, is he, as they race their way on the top of the mountain, work their way downhill. Patrick Cannon, though, a bit too hot through that corner, off into the grass. That's going to slow him down quite significantly. You know, we saw that happen to Patrick Di Battista as well, as Jack Carlos sniffs an extra position gained, but unfortunately he was also too hot there, so he had to brake quite late and almost lost the back end of his BMW M6. As he chases Patrick down the hill. Okay, 86, sorry. Thanks, IX Ghost there for the excellent stats. So it was 86 milliseconds, not 68. At the line, and here comes Jack Carlos. He wants to be fourth at the line. Well, he'd prefer to be in the podium as well here in the semi-final, but I think he sniffs at least fourth place here, and he wants to take that away from Patrick Cannon. Of course, we'll see Jack Carlos in the final. Didn't see him in one of the finals. We've seen him once already, so because he's got points on the board. Where did we see him last? We saw him in the first of our finals, but we didn't see him in the second final. And it looks like he is making headroom here because he wants to be in our third final, doesn't he? Oh, bit loose there through for Patrick Cannon, and that is disastrous for him as well. Luckily, 7th position is quite a ways away, but here comes Vafi Khan through that final corner. Can Vafi Khan take 6th position away? He's got the steam. Yes, he does. Vafi Khan goes 6th position for the time being, and Patrick Cannon is down to 7th position as he lost it through the first corner. It's a good thing we were with Patrick Cannon there. Not sure why we were with him, but we saw the whole incident take place, and he did it all by his lonesome there. So no stewards at all, no officiating from the stewards there. I think he's done it all by himself. So that's good to know. So let's see what Patrick Cannon can do, because I can imagine he'd want to be in this final. He'd want to be in this semi-final as well. Not semi-final, sorry, because he's in the semi-final. He wants to be in the final, doesn't he, for his first time out in the championship. Let's go back with the race leader and let's see if Hazim has improved his time. So he did a 2:01.082 last time round. So that's almost a second slower. Actually, it's over a second slower, isn't it, from his fastest lap of the race so far when he did that 2 minute flat, what 3 was. My timing momentarily disappeared there, didn't it? Yeah, indeed. So we want to have a look at what Zaher did that time round. Gap between the leaders is 3 seconds. It wasn't that big not too long ago, but it looks like Zaher has made a move somewhere and it hasn't paid off, or he's hit a wall. He's gone too fast somewhere and he's lost significant ground to our leader as he's off into the grass there. That's going to slow him down, isn't it? Not significantly. He loses, I think, a 1/10 of a second that time round, but nonetheless it is time lost. Let's go down with third position, because it's Harry Hannam in third, but behind him is Jack Carlos. And actually looks like Jack Carlos and Mohamed Zubair are working well together here. They appear to be catching the man that's in third position, that's Harry Hannam. As we're on the back straight away here, and Mohammed Zubair is tucking in the toe. Can he go over the inside? He's going to go for the inside now as we're into the right-hander. This is going to be tight, boys, to work our way through here, and it looks like got the move stuck. Good job there from Mohammed Zubair. Nice and clean through as well. No muscling at all. They didn't lean on each other. They both gave each other racing room. That was a great move there from Mohammed Zubair and Jack Carlos as well, even though he did lose a position, but still great effort from both of the drivers there. It was a really good pass as Yassi Gaz continues to lead by 2.9 seconds, so the gap's actually come down by 0.2 of a second on this lap, but I have a feeling it might go back up as we race our way now through Sector 2 and Sector 3. Oh, yes, he almost clips the wall there. How he kept it off there, we'll never know, but he's keeping it relatively clean. I saw a bit of dust being kicked up, so he was slightly offline, and as we said, he's put the gap up now up to 3.1 seconds. The final will be a rolling start, not standing. All the races we have here today will be rolling starts, no standing starts at all for these races. That includes the final as well. Let's go back down to 4th position and see what's going on with Harry Hannam, Mohammed Zubair, Jack Carlos. Now it looks like Mohammed Zubair's putting a gap between himself and Jack Carlos. Yes, he is. There's more than an M6 between the two of them. But Jack Carlos late on the brakes there to try and catch up. He's trying to get the switch back, and on the inside of Mohammed Zubair. Doesn't look like he can make a move on the inside, so he's going to have to try somewhere else, but he certainly has closed that gap back up. Slight tap there to Mohammed Zubair as Jack Carlos goes off. They work their way through. Now, can Jack Carlos do exactly what Zubair did to him on the previous lap? Can he pick up the toe, and can he dive to the inside, and can they both majestically race their way through the right-hander? Yeah, it is different from the Spa final because, of course, the rolling start caused a lot of controversy in the quarter-final and the semi-finals as well, didn't it? So we decided to move to the standing start, but then it was chaos going down towards turn 1 through there as Mohammed Zubair clips the wall, and that allows Jack Carlos through on the inside. As my cat once again decides to be part of the stream. She seems to be quite taken back by both the mixer and the microphone, so apologies if you hear any strange noises coming through. As I said, is very active when it comes to streaming, as Zubair seems to be actively chasing the back of Jack Carlos again after losing that position after hitting the wall going through Sector 2, and he's hit the wall again, so he's a bit too fast through those corners. He's got to take it nice and easy. He wants to get past Jack Carlos for 4th position, but more importantly, the good news is that he's still in the top 6 now. It seems to be more drama for Patrick Cannon as he's dropped now down to 8th position. No, he hasn't actually, because he's just got past Iyad Izab, hasn't he? Yes, he has, and Iyad Izab is essentially wall hugging, wasn't he, back there? We just saw at the back of the shot, and he's trailing now because Al Shamsi now has also gained a position. He's up now into 8th position, with Iyad Izab now shown as 9th. So Iyad Izab there not faring too well, as Patrick Cannon's lost significant ground now to Vafi Khan after that spin going through turn 1. But more importantly, Hazem Zaki now on the final lap of the race, 2.4 seconds up the road from Zuhair. It's been scot-free so far for Hazem Zaki, this man right here. He came under pressure from Zuhair. The lead did change because, of course, Zuhair started on pole. Zaki started in 2nd place, and then through the penultimate corner, we saw the move for the lead of the race change, and Yassi Gaz, Hazem Zaki, has not looked back since. He's only been looking forward as he clips the wall. He manages to keep it off the wall enough that it doesn't impede him too much, but he's got to be careful there. If he clips it a few more times, he may even damage the car and then fall back, and he doesn't want that because, of course, he needs to be in the final. But so far it's been a pitch perfect race for Yassi Gaz. Can't be said for Zuhair. We've seen him clip the wall a number of times, although the good news is he's 2nd and he clips the wall as soon as we say that as well. But still, He is in second position, and he's managed to retain that second position and stay ahead of Harry Hannon by 10 seconds, which is great news for him because we'll see him in the final. As we said, it was a shame that we didn't get to see him last time out because of disconnection issues, but we will see him in this week's final. Now through into the penultimate corners goes Hazem Zaki, the Egyptian driver there. It's too fast through the corners there, but he's got more of a gap between himself and the race leaders with 3.7 seconds between himself and second position, And through the final corner comes Hazem Zaki to cement his place in the final. He'll be one of our 6 drivers along with Zuhair, who will go into the final as well. Harry Hannon will also be in the final after having somewhat of a loathsome race in the second half there, or more towards the second half of the race. In third, it's great news for him. Jack Carlos will be in the final once again, along with Mohammed Zubair, which is great to see as well. It's now Vafi Khan's turn to be in the final as well, as he works his way through the final corner. Now, is this the first time we'll see Vafi Khan into the final? Yes, it would be, because it's shown that he's got 18, he's an 18th point, he's 18th place overall. I don't think we've seen Vafi Khan actually in the final. So this might be his first trip to the final, which is great news to see. Unfortunately for Patrick Cannon, in his first weekend in the series, what looked promising, we won't see him in the final. But hopefully we'll see him once again in the hopeful next season. So we'll leave this lobby and we'll join the finale, because now it's up to 12 drivers to battle for that all-important win. 25 points on offer, and there are 2 drivers that need that 25 points. Hazem Zaki and Harry Hannon are the 2 drivers that need those 25 points the most, and they will be fighting tooth and nail for that win. So let's see how this pans out. We have, I think unless there's any penalties to be dished out, I don't think there wasn't much going on in that race. It seemed to be very calm compared to our second semi-final. So we've got some of the drivers already. So for the drivers in the first semi-final, it's great for them because, of course, they had a bit of a break. But for the drivers that were not racing in that first semi-final, they were racing in semi-final 2 and were in the top 6. They're going straight now into a final, aren't they? So I can imagine knees won't be weak, arms won't be heavy, but the palms will definitely be sweaty, that's for sure. As we have 8 drivers in the session so far. Presumably we'll have a few more joining. I see that Jack Carlos is here. See the stewards have also joined. There is Mohammed Zubair is here, who finished in 6th position. 5th position actually, didn't he? Yes, he did, because Vafi Khan was 6th, wasn't he? And then we should have a few more drivers, because of course we'll have 12, don't we? Yes. So again, this will work the exact same way the quarterfinals and the semi-finals did. We will have 7 minutes of qualifying, but we won't have 6 or 8 laps racing. We'll now extend it to another 2 laps. So we'll have 10 laps of racing here. And again, it's going to be, the mountain is going to be the most grueling part. The front straightaways, it gives you a little bit of breather, but the tight and twisty turns of the mountain are really going to put pressure on the drivers, because of course any mistake will put you out of contention and could also be quite costly. But the real story coming into this final race is between this man here, not that one, that's Vafi Khan, isn't it? Harry Hannon, because of course he is the man that's sitting in 2nd position of the championship so far with 30 points to his name. If he gets 25 points, if he wins, he will be the champion for 2021, but he needs to win. That is the only condition of which he will be champion. If he comes in 2nd, he will not. He will lose out by 2 points. And then, do we have his nearest rival? No, we don't. Not yet, anyway. The other rival is Hazem Zaki or Yassid Gaz. He also needs to win if he wants to be crowned champion. But he also needs to be careful. No, he doesn't need to be careful of where Harry Hannam finishes, because if Hazem Zaki finishes first and Harry Hannam second, Hazem will be champion, and then we will have Harry won't be second actually, he'll be third in the championship if that's how it goes, because he'll be 2 points shy of ATCUAE. Yes, he would be. And then if Harry wins and Hazem comes second, he will finish third. So yeah, so ATCUAE, no matter what, I think will finish second in the championship. If either of the two win, if neither of the two win and someone else wins, then ATCUAE will win no matter what. Even though he's not here, and as we said before, he's scoring a big fat 0. He did that obviously because he won round 1 and round 2, so he scored maximum points. Do we have all our drivers? Well, we have 11. So we're waiting for one, and we're waiting for one of the championship rivals as well, aren't we? Yes, we are. We're waiting for Yasheed Gaz to join. So we patiently wait for him to join the session. Hopefully he does, because it would be a shame if he doesn't make it into the session at all. Have we got our 12th driver in the field? No, we don't. We're still waiting for one driver to join the fray. So Hazem is attempting to join the lobby. I wonder if any of the drivers can share it with him. ATCUAE is not participating today, IX Ghosts. He is not here this weekend. Dad chimed in before saying that they are moving house. Well, actually, they're moving out of the United Arab Emirates. So unfortunately, the PlayStation, everything must be packed up. So they will not be partaking in today's race. ATCUAE Seg won't be participating, excuse me. So ATCUAE will not be here, but he can still be crowned champion, which is rather, I guess, unusual. How can you be crowned champion if you're not even participating in the final and scoring 0 points? Well, consistency for one, and winning both rounds too, because of course he scored maximum points in both rounds, 25 points apiece. So he has a total of 50 points, where Harry Hannam has 30 and Hazem has 28. So mathematically, Hazem can win, but he has to beat Harry Hannam. And Harry can, of course, win as well. He'll be 5 points ahead of ATCUAE. For Murad Babori, unfortunately, he is 23 points. 27 points adrift. And James Swindells is 28 points adrift from claiming the championship here. So those two, unfortunately, cannot win the championship. Even if they win the race by a million miles, they cannot do it. So they're just here for bragging rights. So it comes down to Harry Hannam and Hazem Zaki. So this is what we're saying. This is going to be quite interesting to see. Oh, interesting enough, it said apparently Patrick Cannon disconnected halfway through. I didn't realise that bots would take over. It's a rather convincing bot. So 1 minute to go before qualifying. We're about to get underway for the grand finale of the championship. We've done 2 rounds already. This is the 3rd and final round of the season, and it looks like I'm having a slight problem with computer technology again. Getting refired, because this is, of course, the 3rd and final round of the 2021 E-Motorsports UAE National Championship for 2021. We've had somewhere close to 30 drivers today participate, and we boiled it down to just 12. And in all fairness, in the championship I think we've had well over 50 participants already registered and even raced, possibly even close to 60 participants. We've got a championship down to just 2 drivers. Just 2 drivers, essentially. 3, but ATCUAE unfortunately is missing, so we won't count him. So we'll just say that we have 2 drivers, Harry Hannum and Hazem Zaki. Well, the qualifiers are about to start. Again, 7 minutes of qualifying coming away at Mount Panorama to set the field up for the race. And then it is a 10-lap affair to determine who will be crowned champion. Let's see who will do the 2 minutes fastest of all. Why has my camera already gone backwards? It is not backwards anymore. There we go, good news. Let's go with, we're on board, we're not on board with, but we are with and following last year's champion, the outgoing champion, who will pass the beacon on to a new driver this season and who will be crowned 2021 champion. Have to wait and see. We've got at least 20 odd minutes to decide that and figure out who it's going to be. This is going to be an epic battle. As we said, there's 2 drivers to keep an eye on, Yassid Gaz and Haza Racing _19, or Hazem Zaki and Harry Hannum. Those are 2 drivers that we're really going to keep an eye on here in this final race. As we said, those are the 2 that are vying for a championship here at Mount Panorama. Of course, we will have one more round in the championship, a bonus round for 12 Emirati drivers. Of the 12, they'll be vying for 2 tickets to the MENA Digital Cup, where they'll go on to represent the United Arab Emirates later this year, also racing in Gran Turismo, which is a fantastic prize. Of course, you can tune into that next month on August the 6th. We'll have live commentary as well. I don't think it will last 4 hours. I think it'll be it won't be as long, but it will certainly be broadcast live here on the EMSO website. If you'd like to know more about the championship or what EMSO are up to here in the United Arab Emirates, go follow them on social media. They're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. And if you want to know more about the championship, of course, you can head on over to the EMSO website. That's emso.ae, and you can learn all about what EMSO does here in the United Arab Emirates. You can also learn more about the Digital Championship, and you can also stay up to date for any potential dates of a new one. I'm not saying there is one, but let's hope. I'm hoping, I know a few of you in the chat are also hoping for a championship next year as well, or even a full-fledged championship, because believe me, that would be a lot of fun. So, we are now in our final qualifying session of the weekend. We're about to set the field for the grand finale here at the 2021 EMSO E-Motorsports UAE National Championship. As we said, we started with 30 drivers this morning, and we've boiled it down to just 12. And of course, we'll be crowning a champion. And our top 3, well, they're going to get some awesome prizes, courtesy of Dubai Autodrome and Dragon Racing. Dubai Autodrome are supplying our top 3 with BMW track day experiences around the Dubai Autodrome, and Dragon Racing will be supplying our championship winner with a track day experience in the Mini Cooper JCW touring car, which I'm extremely jealous of because I'm a huge fan of touring cars. I just love the way the touring cars look. Maybe one day I'll get to do it myself, but for our winner this season, they will be getting a turn behind the wheel of that Mini Cooper touring car, courtesy of Dragon Racing. So huge shout out to both Dubai Autodrome and Dragon Racing for supplying incredible prizes. We also had prizes given away last year, and hopefully the next time we do it, we'll have more awesome prizes. And like I said, if you want to stay up to date with everything in what's going on with the EMSO, you can check them out at emso.ae. You can also head on over to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter and YouTube and check out everything the EMSO are up to. We're about to complete our first flying lap here at Mount Panorama before the start of our grand finale, and let's see what the time to beat is. It's going to be a 2-minute flat, that's for sure. What 2-minute flat it's going to be, I don't know. This is going to be very interesting as through the left-hander goes Zuhair. Does he do a 2-minute flat straight away? We saw him do a 2-minute flat straight away. Did a 2:01.311 this time round. Who beats him on the first lap? Nobody quite yet, as Harry Hannum is fourth. Oh, there we go. Yasheed Gaz has beaten him and has done a 2:01.116. You can imagine this is going to be quite difficult because there's a lot of fast drivers in this session. There's going to be a lot of fast drivers as well vying for that all-important win. Romano Labori goes quickest of all with a 2-minute flat 6. Goes the Sri Lankan driver. And as I said, what's interesting here is one of 2 drivers needs to win in order to be crowned champion. If they don't, we'll be crowning a champion who's not even racing here this weekend, which seems so bizarre, but unfortunately, due to circumstances, they are not participating here this weekend. However, they will get some awesome prizes nonetheless. Said racer, that of course is ATCUAE, who has 50 points to his name. Harry Hannum has 30, so he needs those 25 points, and Hazem Zaki has 28 points, so he desperately needs those 25 points. He's an outside chance, but he can nab it. Either way, if either of those 2 win, they will be crowned champion of the 2021 season. Let's see how this pans out as Romano Labori is on a flying lap here. Yes, Yasheed Gaz at least is in second, but Harry Hannum is way down the order at the moment. He's outside the top 8. He's down in 10th position at the moment with a 2:02.345. He does look like he's going fast though on this lap, so can he improve? Now Romano Labori is a bit further back, so wait and see what he does. But let's see what Harry Hannum can do in this qualifying session here. Can he put that car further up the order, because it's going to be a very tough ask to climb your way up from 10th position on track here. Harry Hannum goes 4th fastest. He's behind Yasheed Gaz. He's behind his championship rival, but Zuhair goes quickest of all with a 2-minute flat 5. But Zaki goes fastest of all, and he's just been punted out wide by Sunic Gonzalez. He's not going to be happy about that because he wants to be further ahead. And Romano Labori did a 2-minute flat 2, but I've just noticed that it's not a 2-minute flat 5. It's a 2-minute flat 0 for Hakim Zaki. Could he have gotten into the 159s if he wasn't pushed off by Sunic Gonzalez going through the final corner there? This is the final lap. What can he do? But that's great news. Sunic Gonzalez goes into the wall, so all that pressure that he put on Hazem was for nothing, essentially. He didn't impede him at all, but certainly this weekend has certainly gone the way of Hazem Zaki at the moment. Mohammed Zubair's gone into the pit lane. Harry Hannum is still in 4th place, and Yasheed Gaz, unfortunately, he's gone off. That's it. That's no improvement on this lap. He's going to have to keep his fingers crossed and hope that neither Romano Labori or Zuhair can beat that time. 2-minute flat 0.55. That is the fastest lap of the race. And to believe that, I think the first session we had today, the fastest was a 2:01. We've gone a second faster in 6 races in qualifying. Absolutely incredible. Great job there from Hazem Zaki, but what can Romano Labori do? Where is Romano Labori? Saying that he's further up the mountain. Zuhair is slowing down, so he's not going to give way. Oh, and he's just messed up a driver's time. He has certainly messed up a driver's time. He was definitely in the way. He slowed down on track. He did not go offline, and he doesn't seem to have a problem with the car. The stewards are going to look into that. That has to be a penalty. He did not move offline either. James Swindells dips into the 2-minute 9 flat. 2 flat with 9/10 of a second. Romano Labori second fastest at the moment. Can he go faster this time round? Can he go lower than 2/10 of a second? No, he can't. Where is Harry Hannam? He's 5th, so James Swindells has beaten him to the line. This is going to be a struggle now for Harry Hannam, but the stewards, I definitely say the stewards need to look into Zuhair there, because that could have been a fast lap there from Johnny Cafe Racer, and his lap time was ruined there from that car being slow on the back straightaway, and that wasn't pulling the car offline either. I'd be surprised if the stewards don't say anything about it, but let's see what happens there. But Hazem Zaki, the man to beat, and he's in the all-important position to gain those 25 points. The championship is within his reach, and he could be crowned champion here. All he has to do is keep it nice and clean like he did in his semi-final, and he has to keep it out in front. He cannot succumb to the pressure from Romano Labori, Zuhair, James Swindells, Harry Hannam, and the rest of the field. So let's see. We're about to get on the way. As we said, it's a rolling start. I think I will leave the stewards to watch the mod to the start before I ask any questions. As we're going into the left-hander here, Hazem Zaki, he's in the place that he wants to be. He's 10 laps away from a potential championship here for 2021. We're about to go racing. Green flag waves. We're racing here for the final time in 2021. Hazem Zaki leads down towards the first corner. Romano Labori attempts to close in. Harry Hannam, does he get a good start? Yes, he does. He's still in 5th position for the time being. But can he catch Hazem Zaki? Because, of course, no matter where Harry finishes, if he finishes behind Zaki, he is out of the championship hunt. He will not be crowned champion, and he'll be 3rd overall. But if this man can do it, as Romano Labori is all at the back of him, he needs to make that M6 as wide as possible. Zaki needs to make that M6 and M12 and make it wide as he humanly dares, as he's racing his way up the hill here. This is where Romano Labori is going to think very carefully. Romano Labori, very cool head on his shoulders, very, very thoughtful when it comes to passing. He knows when not to do it. He's been very cool and calm throughout the championship. 2020 as well was where he won. I think he was the only driver not to put a foot wrong anywhere. He had such a clean season. It was fantastic as they raced their way on top of the mountain for the first time. Sagon 16, unfortunately, that Sonic Gonzalez has an issue. He has been booted out of the session by the looks of it, although I could be the one that has the connection issues. And yes, incident is under investigation between Zuhair and Johnny Cafe Racer. I firmly believe that Zuhair was in the wrong there 100%. Let's see how this pans out though, as Yassi Gaz leads down towards the long back straight here, and he's been able to shake Romano Labori. Romano Labori is under pressure from Zuhair here at the moment. Labori sitting in 2nd place at the moment. He can't disrupt the championship too much. Actually, could he get into 3rd position if he outscores Harry Hannam? Harry has 30 points to his name. Romano Labori has 23. If he outscores him enough, we could have a shake-up here for 3rd overall in the championship. This is going to be interesting. I didn't take that into consideration now, did I? Because Harry Hannam is in 5th place. That will net him... How many points will that net him? 15 for 3rd... 12 for 4, 10. Romano Labori is currently circulating 2nd, 18. 18 plus 23 is more than 40. Yes, we could see Harry Hannam lose one of the 3 positions out in front. If he finishes this, he needs to get past, and he's done it. He's got past he's got past Johnny Cafe Racer. Actually, James Swindells has gone from the top 4. So James Swindells has tumbled down the order. He's had a mistake somewhere. What's going on here? What happened? We were looking at the championship results, what's going on, but what is going on here? Because Romano Labori is caught up. Zuhair is caught up as well, but more importantly, Harry Hannam is 4th. Johnny Cafe Racer is 5th. I Mohammed Zubair is 6th. Sonic Gonzalez, unfortunately, is disconnected. James Waddell is down to 10th place, so he's had an incident somewhere, or someone's punted him off. I don't want to say that. I don't think that has happened. But let's see what the stewards say, because that's going to be an interesting one. Because if Harry Hannam has punted him off and he picks up a penalty, that is disastrous, as Romano Labori is into the wall with Zuhair squeezing through. Now, was Zuhair a bit cheeky there? Did he purposely give him a slight tap to push him into the wall? Let's wait and see about that, because this is giving Yassi Gaz exactly what he needs. He's getting the gap that he needs. He's ahead of Zuhair by 1/8 of a second. Where is Amar Labori? Has he dropped back? No, he hasn't. He's still battling with Zuhair at the moment. We're going side by side into the quickest corner of the track right now. Into the right-hander. Who brakes the latest? Who dares to lift on the accelerator? Neither of them back out at all as they lean on each other going through the penultimate corner. This is great stuff here from both the defending champion and Zuhair. I don't know how both of them got through there at all, how they didn't clatter into one another, and how they didn't break either of them. That was mighty impressive from the two of them as Zaki continues to lead here, and he's been caught up by both Ramad Labori and Zuhair at the moment as we go into the first corner again here for the third time. Into the left-hander we go. It is 7/10 of a second up front between Zaki and Labori still ahead of Zuhair at the moment. So if Ramad Labori is second at the moment, he's scoring 18 points. Harry is scoring 12. That gives him... Harry will get 42 points. Ramad Labori will get 23 plus 18. Well, that's some really quick math that I can't do. That's 31. That's 41 points. So he'd be 1 point shy of third position at the moment, will Ramad Labori. So he's settling now for fourth for the time being, but Harry Hannam is still in third position. He needs to find a way fast to this group here. He needs to get up to third position, and he needs to find a way past both Zuhair and Ramad Labori, and most importantly Hazem Zaki. And as we've seen in the past, it's been very difficult to catch these three. Sorry about that, my doorbell's just gone off and my cat's now running through the house and disconnected my keyboard, so I'm gonna have to leave this way. I can't get up. This is far too exciting what's going on here. I'm gonna have to result in the controller, so apologies for that. My controller's been disconnected and the doorbell has rung. I'm sorry, I'm not getting up from this at the moment. I'm going to have to wait. Give me 1 quick second, actually. I'm going to have to answer this. So I do apologise for that. My keyboard was disconnected and the doorbell rang. I don't know why they can't leave the packages on the floor, but anyway, so I have the controller on the screen. No, I don't. It's gone now. I've lost my screens here, and the battle for the lead is heating up because here comes Ramad Labori. He's escaped the clutches of Zuhair, and he's now through the final corner, and this is the closest we've seen the lead battle be for a long time here in all the races we've had so far in any of the finals. Here comes Ramad Labori. He's on the outside line, though, for the next corner. Can he outbrake Yassi Gaz? Because this is very important. Yassi Gaz is going to have to be very brave down towards the right-hander. Here we go. Can they make the move? Yes, he does. Ramad Labori around the outside. Can he make it through? Missed the wall, or just about. But here comes Zuhair. He wants to be this too. As Zaki's into the wall. No! He scratched the wall, and that's going to drop him down to third place because here comes Zuhair as well into second position from first to third in just 2 corners. Unfortunately, disaster for Zaki. He lost the lead going through the final corner, but it's not all over yet. He can still take this. Can he do it? Let's see what happens. Harry Hannam is still a ways away from this battle for third position as down the hill we go for the 4th time here at Mount Panorama. Down we go. Harry Hannam looks like he's closing up as well. Here he comes. He wants a piece of action because he knows what's going up ahead of him. Ramad Labori now leads the race. Zuhair in second. Now I wonder if Zaki was forced into the wall there, or if that was just a racing incident, because it did look like Zuhair muscled his way through, because that was a very, very, let's say, clutch sequence of corners, because that was very, very intense with the two of them there. Here comes Zaki again. He's going to try the inside line, take the second position away. Yes, he does. Can he break there? Oh, no, he's off in the grass. Disaster again for Zaki. He was too late. He was too bold on the brakes there. And that's going to cost him, because here comes Harry Hannam. Now, the good news is he still is he second in the championship? No, he wouldn't be, would he? They would still go the way of Harry Hannam, because there is Hannam right now. Zaki's race, unfortunately, is unfolding. It was the doorbell that did it. The doorbell threw him off. He somehow heard it, and it's caused him an issue as Harry Hannam goes wide as well through the first corner there. That is Johnny Cafe Racer who moves up position. Yes, he does. What is going on here in the final race of the championship? Harry Hannam loses out to 5th position, and Johnny Cafe Racer now into 4th. Zaki missed the braking point. Harry missed the braking point. Zaki was pushed into the wall. This is an intense finale here to crown a champion in round 3 of the 2021 season as we race our way back up the hill. We're halfway through this race, a 10-lapper, as Zaki's a bit loose through the corner. We're now up to the top of the mountain. Let's go with the race leader because it looks like he's managed to gap Zuhair by quite some margin. Romano Labori, 1.4 seconds up the road. Let's have a quick look what lap times he's doing because he's certainly the fastest of the lot so far. He did a 2:01.331 last time round. Zuhair did a 2:02.146, and Yassi Gaz, let's see him, because of course he was in the wall last time round, wasn't he? He did a 2:04.345, and he was also off track, wasn't he, as well? So that's really cost him a lot of time, and the gap is up to 2.2 seconds. Over the past couple of races, we've seen how difficult it's been to catch the field. Even at the halfway point, it's been very, very difficult. Let's go back now. Let's actually go with Harry Hannam. Let's see what he's up to because he's in 5th position. As we said, he ran wide through turn 1. We just saw that while we're watching Hazem Zaki go through the second onto the first straightaway, actually, after the first corner, and we saw Harry Hannam go off in the distance. He's still circulating, though, in 5th position. He is 1.2 seconds behind at the moment. He's into that left-hander. Can he catch the back of Johnny Cafe Racer? Now, I think we're now starting lap number 6. We have 4 laps to go. This may not... sorry, we have 5 laps to go, actually, come to think of it. So we just elapsed the halfway point. This may not be now the championship fight. This may now be the fight for second overall in the championship, because at the moment neither Harry Hannam nor Hazem Zaki are scoring enough points to outscore ATCUAE. So it looks like despite ATCUAE not being here, he may be crowned champion. Let's wait and see how this pans out, though, because Romano Labori still out in front by 1.5 seconds. Zuhair is second by 2.4 seconds ahead of Zaki. 1.5 seconds is he ahead of Johnny Cafe Racer, with Harry Hannam trailing by 9/10 of a second. Harry is faster at the moment than Johnny at the moment. Mohammed Zubair is 6 seconds back in 6th position, with Zach Scholar in 7th. He's a further 9/10 of a second back at the moment. Jack Carlos in 8th. He's 2.3 seconds behind, and James Swindell is on a mission because, of course, he dropped down to 10th, now back up into 9th place. He's only 6/10 of a second behind in that 9th position. Patrick Di Battista in 10th, a late addition due to a penalty dished out to Danny Shields, but Patrick Di Battista is into the final and into the wall as well. That's not what he wants to do. Buffy Khan, who sits in 11th, is 6.7 seconds back, and unfortunately, we told you earlier that Sonic Gonzalez is not in the session anymore, unfortunately disconnected. And, we've got a change position in 3rd. The battle is on. What's going on here? Zuhair, that was rather cheeky, and a bollard goes flying across the screen. What happened to Zuhair? We completely missed that, because now Hazem Zaki has gone 2nd, Johnny Cafe Racer has gone 3rd, Harry Hannam is 4th, Zuhair is 5th. Now, we caught the tail end of that while we're going through the order, and I saw that Johnny was constantly moving up and down in, I think it was 3rd position, and then we caught the tail end of it. Yassi Gaz was almost into the wall. Zuhair was into the wall. It does look like he was pushed into the wall. It does look like Zuhair pushed him into the wall. So I think the stewards will have a long list of things to watch what Zuhair is doing. And Zuhair goes around on the inside on the grass. There was that. Or was that Harry Hannam as he's into the wall as well? Harry Hannam's got to be careful. He can't take moves like this. He's got to be very careful. That was very, very bold of Harry to do that. And again, I wonder if the stewards will look at that, because it looked like he had 2 wheels on the grass and tried to make a move on the inside to take the position away. Johnny still leads this pack here in 3rd position, but Zuhair's gone from 2nd to 5th in half a lap. Johnny's gone from 4th to 3rd. Harry's gone from 5th to 4th. Yassine has gone back in a second, but He's still 6.3 seconds behind Romaldo Labori, and that means if the race were to end on this lap, the championship is over and it goes the way of ATCUAE. However, we still have 3.5 laps to go for Romaldo Labori and Hazem Zaki, Jonathan Crispin, Harry Hannam and Zuhair as well. This is certainly the most intense race we've had all season, and the battle is still brewing for third, because here comes Harry Hannam around the outside. It's going to be about who breaks the latest again, and it looks like Johnny there had a bit too many wheels on the inside there, was on the grass and lost a little bit of time, allowing Harry Hannam to sneak up on the outside, putting Harry now into third position. Johnny again defending on fifth position, but here comes Zuhair. He's just a gap. Oh, and Harry very late on the brakes there, and he's off. It didn't look like any contact there. I think he might have done it by himself, but again, up to the steward's side, not me, because I'm seeing it from my own eyes. The stewards might be seeing something different, but that drops him down to fourth position. Oh, and look who it is. Mohamed Zubair is in the mix as well, and he's bought Zach Scholar. The battle for third is raging on. We've gone from 3 cars to almost 5 cars in just a handful of corners. If only this was the battle for the lead, that would have been absolutely phenomenal, wouldn't it? It'd be great to see that, because of course that would be one of our championship contenders in the mix. But yeah, another one of our championship contenders would also be in the mix, because he's currently sitting in second position. I wish it was as calm as this man right here. Romaldo Labori, he hasn't put a foot wrong at all. He put his car in second, wasn't it? Because was he first or second? I think he was second at the line, because I think Yassi Gaz Zaki was the fastest in qualifying. Romaldo Labori got the move. Yes, he did, because now he's in the lead of the race. Yes, he did. There was a change for the lead, wasn't there? So he now leads, and it's been a very calm race for this man here. I think the most excitement for him so far was overtaking Zaki and then just powering his way 7 seconds to the good so far, with just 2.5 laps to go here at the at Mount Panorama here. What a race it's been so far. We're just going to take a quick breather before we go back to the action, and let's go back to that action now. Third position, not the battle anymore, but it's the battle for fourth now, isn't it? Because Harry Hannam is there in fourth, Zuhair is behind him in fifth position, and then we have Mohamed Zubair in sixth. Sorry, that went to Zach Scholar. There he is. So we saw that Zach Scholar is in seventh. James Findell's back on a move as well. Remember, he was up in fourth position at the beginning, and he dropped all the way back to 10th position. So he's back on a move now into 8th place, and I think he'd love to be in the thick of things there as well in that mix. But for Hazem Zaki, I think it may be over. We still have 2 laps to go, so maybe there is still time for Yassi Gaz, but 7.6 seconds is tough, and it's only going up. He's lost 0.7 of a second since we last spoke about Romaldo when he's at the top of the hill, and the gap between Zaki and Dan here saying that Zuhair was straight into the back of Hannam there through, I think that was the penultimate corners, wasn't it? Because it was very feisty through there, but I can imagine the stewards are certainly looking into it. But I see that there's been a change of position for fourth, though, because Zuhair has gone now into fourth position, and now Harry Hannam is back into fifth position, and under pressure now from Mohamed Zubair. It seems to be Zuhair is... well, he's not making any friends at the moment, is he? He seems to be making far more enemies than he'd like to, I think. Which is not what he should be doing, that's for sure. I know it's racing, and racing is competitive, there's no teams here, but the last thing you want to do is make a lot of enemies on track. And he certainly is. I mean, he blocked Cafe Racer. He may have punted Zaki off. He's gone into the back of Harry Hannam as well on this race, so the stewards are going to have a very tough time looking into this, and it's going to be a very tough decision for them as well to figure out what is what and who's going to be where at the line. As Romaldo Labori, though, as we said, cool, calm and collected. It's been pretty much incident free for him so far. All he's done is he's passed somebody, and that's it. He's been on his way, and he's now 8.7 seconds to the good as he's through the final corner for penultimate time. He's about to start the final lap of the race here. He's looking to score a maximum of 25 points, and now with Harry Hannam in fifth, He's outscoring him, and he will be third. He was fourth coming into this race, but it looks like he will have enough points to take third away from Harry Hannum, which means Harry may miss out on that BMW experience courtesy of the Dubai Autodrome. Who will be walking away, though, with the Dragon Racing Prize? It looks like ATCUAE will be doing that. Stephen, the stewards will be looking at it. I know that one of the stewards is looking into it, but we reviewed after the race. But definitely... Oh, actually, yes, because James... He was in fourth, wasn't he, on the first lap, and he's tumbled all the way down. So I think, yes, that's a separate instance that I didn't catch, did I? I thought we were talking about Cafe Rider in the during the qualifying session. And I wonder if Zoo was a part of that as well. Interesting. Let's see how this pans out. But for this man here, as you said, it's been very smooth for Romano Labori. As you said, the only thing he's had to deal with was pass a car, and that's it. He hasn't been into the wall. He hasn't collected a penalty. It's been a very, very pleasant weekend for him, that's for sure. It's more of it's on like a scenic route up and down the mountain, isn't it, for Romano Labori? He hasn't really been in the thick of things. He's always stayed clear of all the action that's going on. Let's see what action is going on, because there was Hazem Zaki. Let's go to fifth position, because I think this is where it's happening at the moment, isn't it? Yes, it is. It's Hazem Racing. It's Harry Hannum in fifth position with Mohamed Zubair behind him, and Zach Scholar as well in seventh. But Romano Labori now should be working his way through the penultimate corners. Yes, indeed he is. Here is Romano Labori. One more corner to go, and he will win the grand finale. Round 3 comes to an end in just one corner. Through the left-hander goes Romano Labori, back on top. It's been a while since we've seen him win a final. It's been actually almost a year since we've seen him do it, but he's done it in style. A great job there from Romano Labori. Very interesting finish as well. Hazem Zaki comes across the line in second. I think that's enough for him to claim second in the championship overall, if math serves me correctly. Johnny Cafe Racer in his first outing in a final comes third, so he completes the podium. The man who's probably got the biggest set of eyes focused on him right now, Zaher, finishes fourth. Harry Hannum is fifth. Sixth is Zubair, Mohamed Zubair. Zach Scholar seventh. James Swindell in eighth. And then I didn't get to catch the rest of it. But my goodness, what a grand finale that was. There's confirmation that Romano Labori wins. Now, let me try and do some quick math for you. So, 18 points for second place, which means Hazem Zaki will have... He got 8 points there, so that puts him at 36 plus 10. That will be 46 points. Harry Hannum was fifth at the line. He will score 10 points. So, that means Hazem Zaki will be second, but still the champion. The man who unfortunately is not here, the man who is currently moving house and leaving the United Arab Emirates, the man who won the championship by, I think, 2 points, if I'm correct in saying this. ATCUAE is the champion, if my math serves me correctly, that is. But let's wait and see what the judges decide, because I see that... not the judges, but the stewards, because I see the stewards are in the chat. Also, I see something from Gilles. I didn't quite catch what he said. And it is certainly a great exit if it is, because if he's won the championship without even being in the final race, that just proves that consistency is key and winning is key as well, because ATCUAE won both races and he's managed to not participate in the final and win the championship by 2 points. So that's very, very... that's a fantastic job, and I guess congratulations to ATCUAE. Like I said, I don't know if my maths is 100% correct. We'll wait and see. Of course, the EMSO will be sharing the results via email later on. I understand that there will be a few things to take care of here. The stewards have a very tough job now, because there were a lot of incidents there with a lot of drivers, including both of our championship contenders of Harry Hannum and Zaki. But nonetheless, a fantastic effort from everyone who participated. It's been a fantastic season again. Unfortunately, only 3 rounds, but what to do? Of course, we will hopefully do it again next season. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, if you want to learn more about the EMSO, head on over to the EMSO's website. That's emso.ae. Remember to follow them on social media, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And I've been Chris Milborn. If you want to follow me, it's Chris Milborn on Instagram. I mean, I post pictures mainly of weird things and rogue bananas, but feel free. Let's have a chat sometime. And if you like what you saw, give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. And we shall see you soon. Because remember, we do still have one more race. We have the all-important bonus round that takes place at the beginning of August. If the math is correct, it looks like ATCUAE wins by 4 points. Thanks, Ghost, for that. I think you are right. Yes, because you had 46 points, so you're right, not 48. So yes, you're correct. 4 points you'd win by. Again, still a fantastic feat that he wins with 4 points without even being in the race. So congratulations once again to ATCUAE SAG, and thank you so much to all the participants, all the EMSO guys, all the officials, and everyone watching. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Remember to wash your hands at all times and remain socially distanced. We'll see you soon.